If you like baseball, whether you're a Met fan or a Yankee fan, this is the place to be this weekend. The New York Mets and the New York Yankees in interleague play. Baseball interleague play at its best. New York Yankees, the starting pitchers for tonight's game, Andy Pettitte for the Yanks, and on the mound for the Mets, Leiter. Hi, everybody. Pressure. Do the players feel it? Mike Piazza, he's got some thoughts on that.
Players try to keep it in perspective and downplay it and say, you know, it's a regular season series. But you cannot help but get caught in the emotion once the games begin, because the way the fans react to it, the way the media reacts to it, the intensity is immediate and it's overwhelming.
Well, the Mets will have to get some production, obviously, from their big hitter route. But tonight, a rematch of Game 5 of the World Series last year. Andy Pettitte, now Leiter, pitching the ball game, Game 1 here of this series tonight.
Two of the best pitchers in baseball. Now Leiter for the New York Mets with that good fastball and the cutter right there. He will be the man the Mets are counting on. He got the Mets to where they are in the past couple of years, and now having to go at the Yankees one more time. And for the Yankees, it'll be Pettitte, a man that doesn't walk many, and he is an outstanding pitcher for the Yankees. Left-hander with good control. He knows how to pitch, and he has great control. So Pettitte will be on the mound for the Yankees, and now Leiter for the New York Mets.
Crowd still filing in here, coming off that subway ramp beyond right field. And Ralph, for interleague play, we talked about it in the opening. I think when they decided on interleague play, this is what they were thinking about.
Oh, there's
the
no
Yankees
question.
And the Mets.
No question about that, Tom, because you can't beat when you have a rivalry like the Yankees and Mets have. The one thing that I wonder, though, whether it will be a part of baseball in the future when they have now gone back to where you play in your own division so many times. That might not be continued for too long a time, but it certainly has served the purpose of bringing a lot of interest to a local area.
Well, there are places where it's a natural fit and it works perfectly. Other places it's a bit of a stretch.
That's one of the problems.
You know, you've got the Giants and the Oakland A's, you've got the Dodgers and the California Angels, and there, I mean, the Astros, and there are natural places, and this is probably the best of it. Leiter getting set to work here, and we'll look at our tri-state Ford lineup that he will face tonight for the Yankees. Chuck Knobloch leads it off, and he plays left field. Derek Jeter, the shortstop. Bernie Williams hitting third, and playing center. Shane Spencer in right field, batting cleanup. Jorge Posada does the catching. Scott Brocious, the third baseman. Luis Sojo hits seventh and plays first. And Alfonso Soriano, the second baseman, hits eighth. And Andy Pettitte is on the mound tonight for the New York Yankees.
And one of the advantages for the National League in a way is the fact there's no DH in the defense for the Mets. Agbiani in left, Senjo in center, McEwen in right. Ventura at third, Ordonez at short, Relaford at second base. Alfonso has been put on the DL. He has a bad back and is no longer available for 15 days. Also at first base is Zeal and Piazza doing the catching.
And Leiter on the mound tonight. Leiter making his 10th start. Remember, he has spent a period of time on the disabled list, 3-4 with a 3.7 earned run average. 53 innings pitched, 54 hits, and just 8 walks, just 8 of them. He has had excellent control, 42 strikeouts, and he has given up 7 home runs so far this season. The last 3 years, Leiter is 46 and 26 for the New York Mets, and his manager, Bobby Valentine, he has been 20 over 500. The two managers, of course, Joe Torre for the world champion New York Yankees, and Bobby Valentine. And if you think they don't feel the pressure, players say that they don't think they don't feel the pressure, don't sense it, and there isn't any extra pressure because they don't want to look at it. And they know it's there. You keep it suppressed as long as you can and bring it up to the table when the game starts.
I think it's a terrific advantage to be a player and play in front of a crowd like this in an important ball game, and it brings up your concentration, it brings up all the excitement of baseball.
And first pitch of the ball game off the plate away, and it is ball one. Well, you hear the term a lot from coaches and players talking about step it up. Well, he's got to step it up. Well, this is a game in which you can step it up. If you can't step it up in interleague play, the Yankees and the Mets are not going to be able to do it.
You don't come out here to hide. There's no question about that.
Ball and a strike to Knobloch, hitting .263 with 3 home runs and 21 RBIs. To the right side and right by Relaford, so a leadoff single for the Yankees. Remember, Edgardo Alfonso is on the disabled list. He went to the doctor yesterday and today. And he is going to be unavailable to this ball club for at least a couple of weeks.
And, of course, Alfonso would not have been able to get to that ball. But again, it's a base hit off the hands, pushed in the right field, and you wonder when the base hits that are not hit hard continue to drop in. You wonder when that will end or will it end.
Well, that one found that hole between Zeal and Relaford, so it'll bring up Derek Jeter. 285, 5 home runs, and 30 RBIs, and looking for a run right off the bat. Ventura playing back about even with the bag.
You know, that really surprises me. Of course, George Torre is a National League manager. He managed the ball games like they have played in the National League for quite some time, and he runs the Yankees that way. He looks for one run, and they execute really well. And right there thinking about getting ahead in the ball game with a runner moved in the scoring position. But Jeter is an outstanding hitter.
Way inside with that cutter, a ball and a strike. You know, you talk about being a National League manager, and I agree with you totally. And there are so many managers, especially in the American League, that feel if you get on the board first, you got a better chance to win. Get the first run on that board, and that's what Joe's thinking. 1-1 to Jeter. Down and in, and it's 2 balls and a strike.
Over all the games played in the major leagues, over all the years, if you get the first run of the ball game, you win the game 70% of the time. Now, of course, that stat stands out like that, but it really isn't that important. Because sometimes you get the first run and maybe 5 more with it.
You get a whole bunch.
And that, boy, that's how you win all the ball games.
Now, there are some theories of thought by certain pitchers that actually would rather have their ball club be behind 1-0 as opposed to be ahead.
I believe that thoroughly.
Yeah, absolutely.
I believe that it is not that important. Now, a lot of managers manage that way, and one of the best in the business in the old days was Gene Mark. He was a man that wanted to score a run on a base hit, a sacrifice on the base hit. He didn't want the big inning in the first part of the game. I personally think the big inning is more important in the earlier part of the game than any time.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Jeter. And we'll see if Knobloch goes. He does not. Back in that curveball. What a beautiful piece of hitting right there. He read that breaking ball, lined it right up the middle. So back-to-back singles for the Yankees here in the top of the first inning to start off this ball game.
Jeter with an off year so far, hitting .285. But he hits that ball right up the middle. And there's no doubt about his ability. He has outstanding ability.
You talk to so many young hitters and try to tell them what you mean about not committing your hands. That's a perfect example. He kept his hands back and didn't try to do anything more than just hit a single with that pitch. Good piece of hitting. Bernie Williams. Bernie Williams, number 3 hitter in this lineup. Bernie hitting .300, 9 home runs and 31 RBIs, and he has been on fire. Cutter inside, ball 1.
He has raised his average 95 points in his last 28 games. Of course, his father was ill. He left the ball club, and then he came back, and his father died, and he had to go back for the funeral for that. But now, after all that's behind him, he's really starting to come up to the Bernie Williams of old.
Jeter way off at first base, and Leiter misses again inside. Bernie Williams has hit in 3 straight, but has been on fire. Check the runners. Knobloch at second, and Derek Jeter on first, both of them singles. Another thing to think about in this ball game. One of the managers, both of the managers, I would presume and guess, is that if they can get to the bullpen in this 3-game series, it can be extremely important. Try to tire out that bullpen. And that's why Bobby Valentine scheduled his starters so he'd have his top 3 coming in here. And Leiter, Apier, and Reed going against the New York Yankees. Getting to that bullpen in the first night, the Friday night game, has an effect throughout the entire series. Their runners are off, and a little loop to right field. No, Joe McEwing will not get there. It is not how hard you hit it sometimes, but where you hit it, and he got jammed with that cutter. And Bernie Williams continues his hot streak. Knobloch scores, and it's 1-0 Yankees.
That's really interesting call by Joe Torre. The runner's going with a pitch with their best hitter up. He bloops the ball to right field, but McEwing did not get a good jump on the ball. It drops him for a single, and the Yankees are in strong position.
So now first and third, still nobody out, and Shane Spencer will be the hitter. Spencer just 1 for 2, and a cutter on that inside part of that plate. Hit a solo home run in Thursday's win against Montreal. Back from those knee problems, inside off the plate, a ball and a strike. Yankees on top, 1-0 already, and now Leiter still looking for his first out.
And the Mets are playing back for the double play. Spencer is 0 for 8 against Al Leiter in his major league career.
Popped him up. Might stay in play, might stay in play. No, first row behind the dugout. Piazza and Zeal, both of them over there and covering. Umpires today this evening: Dana DeMuth behind home plate, Mark Wegner at first, Las Diaz at second, and Rick Reed at third. There's DeMuth calling balls and strikes behind home plate. One and 2 to Spencer. Oh, holy mackerel.
When you see a batter hit a ball that foul and also that hard, you know he's been fooled entirely by the pitcher.
You know he's pretty much got a pretty quick bat on that.
He's got a fast bat. There's no doubt about that. But you can hit those all day long. It can't hurt you. Those foul balls don't hurt.
Leiter does it all the time. Bernie Williams off with a pitch. And Joe Torre continuing to play aggressive baseball. So Williams with his 6th stolen base, and now the Yankees at second and third, nobody out.
Well, he had a big jump and makes a trip to second base look very easy. Both of these catchers have had 82% of the base runners stealing being successful. Both catchers in this game.
The Yankees now with 72 stolen bases on the year. Chop to Ventura. He'll go to first base. They'll get Spencer, but Jeter scores easily, and it's 2-0 the Yankees. A little one-hopper down to Ventura. The ball really chopped high in the air, and Jeter was off with a contact as soon as that ball was driven down into the ground, and Ventura made the safe play going across to first base.
Well, a good job by Ventura. He has no play at the plate, holds the run at second base, and picks the out at first base. If Leiter can get out of this inning with only 2 runs, he'll be happy.
That is good pitching. Jorge Posada, the Yankee catcher. He is a dead fastball hitter. His number is 287, 13 home runs, and 52 RBIs. At 52 RBIs leads the Yankees in that department. He is turning into an excellent hitter. Great bat speed. That's a good matchup right there, that cutter inside. Posada, good fastball hitter, likes the ball middle in. This brings that theory, whether you pitch to a hitter's strengths or weaknesses or go with your strengths. That's a good matchup. Leiter against Posada in there. You don't, against him, you do not have much margin for error, Ralph, inside against Posada.
He was really pitched well there. That ball was in on the corner of the plate, and of course, that's what Al was trying to do and did it well.
So with Williams still at second, and 0-2 pitch to Posada. That little dead fish on the outside part of the plate. Williams does not go. Well, Leiter's been very effective. He found another weapon and pitching on the outside part of that plate. He is so effective inside to right-handers, and he throws what they call a dead fish. It's not really a changeup, but it's like a semi-fastball. I don't necessarily. Maybe it's the term that I object to.
Dead fish?
The dead fish, yeah.
Well, it doesn't flop.
If you make mistakes with them, they'll flop. Got him. Dropped by Piazza. The ball in the dirt, and Posada is out. First strikeout in the ball game for Al Leiter.
Now the ball out of the strike zone. Posada had a chance to run toward first base, and he didn't. So that was a mistake on his part, because sometimes if you go to first base, the runner at second can move up, or an error might be made in the throw.
Well, your point, Ralph, about if he can get out of this inning with just 2 runs, it's a job well done. Leadoff singles by Knobloch and Jeter, and then an RBI single by Bernie Williams on the hit and run. You got a run in, runners at second and third, and nobody out. And if you can get out of it with 2 runs, job well done. Scott Brocious, the hitter, 296, 8 home runs and 25 RBIs. 22 pitches in the inning already by Al Leiter. Big swing at that inside fastball. Leiter's last outing down in Tampa Bay against the Devil Rays, he struggled through the entire game. Talked to him after that game. He said, I never really felt comfortable. He only gave up 1 earned run. Really the mark of a guy that can pitch when he does not have his good stuff. He pitched 6 innings, 4 runs he gave up, only 1 of them earned. He got much better stuff here tonight. Way inside, and it's 2 balls and a strike. A lot of times pitchers will get to the mound and they will not be loose yet. And there is one thing that will get you loose. Runners at second and third, nobody out. It's more an emotional looseness than anything else. Sometimes you can throw and throw all you want down in that bullpen, and until you're under the gun, almost like those minute muscle fibers really don't get that last flow of blood. He has been tested in this inning. 2-1. Way inside, 3 balls and a strike at Luis Sojo with a 156 average in the on-deck circle. You got first base open.
And right here, we want to make sure that you don't give Brocious something that can handle the drive of the ball either to for a base hit or for a home run. With Sojo up next.
3-1, and on that inside corner. That's a pitch where you have first base open, and the count really doesn't make any difference. Because you have first base open, you can do just about anything you want to do.
Well, why was Brocious taking that pitch? It's his job to drive the run in.
Why would he argue? Joe Torre wants him to swing the bat.
That's right. You want him to hit.
3-2, 2 outs. And he'll rack it up again.
You wonder what ball players are thinking about, because runs batted in are the thing, and especially when you're down to the bottom of the batting order.
Knowing the lineup, knows who is hitting behind you. Joe Torre thinking about Brocious. Yeah, knock that run in. 3-2. Inside, he lost it. So the first walk of the ball game given up by Al Leiter. That is only his 9th walk of the year. And that'll bring out Charlie Huff to have a chat with Al Leiter. With the reaction that Leiter made after that last pitch, it's as if he wanted that ball to be a strike. So that tells you that, yes, even though first base was open and Soho in the on-deck circle, he was going after Scott Brocious. Watch the reaction after the pitch. And the cutter misses inside. And you could tell.
You could really tell that he wanted the pitch called a strike, and it was very, very close.
Yeah. Last time these two met, Game 5 last year of the World Series. And right up the middle.
25 bouncer up the middle, won the ball game in the World Series. Now Soho has been gone, he's been back, and he won a game the other day with a blue base hit to right field for the Yankees. His first run batted into the year.
Way upstairs for a ball 1. So Al Leiter struggling here in the first inning, closing in on his 30th pitch. This will be pitch number 30. Knobloch, Jeter, and Williams started with 3 singles. And an RBI grounder by Spencer. Up the middle, no! Ordonez can't get it. Williams, they got a shot at him. No! Safe at home. Yankees 3-0.
Well, Soho did it to the Mets one more time. He won a ball game, the 5th game of the World Series last year. He gave the Yankees the World Championship with a hit just like that. And his next chance, he does the same thing.
The Yankees with good speed in that lineup. Charged very well by Sinjo in center field, but the speed of Bernie Williams beats it. Throw right on the mark. And Dana DeMuth, the umpire, right there. No place to go but home with 2 outs there. Williams with outstanding speed and beats it by a couple of inches. It'll bring up Alfonso Soriano. Yanks on top, 3-0. Fastball in the inside corner. And it's strike 1. Ralph was talking earlier about that National League kind of game, and team speed is one of those items that has been historically a National League trademark. You think back of the, well, at least when I played, Ralph, National League teams, the good teams had good team speed. They could score on those base hits to center field like that from second base. One of the things that the Mets do not have in the middle of that lineup. Soriano hitting .281, 3 home runs and 19 RBIs. That's 16 doubles. Try to keep track of the number of broken bats that Al Leiter has through the game here tonight.
Well, the one thing that Torrey has done in this first inning and his team, they've had only singles. None of them hit very well. The hardest ball hit was Jeter's ball for a single up the middle. And they scored 3 runs, and they also have had a stolen base.
0-2 pitch, and the check at second base. And Brocious, nobody covering. Nothing else to do that. Shorten the runner up a half a step. Save that half a step at home. If, in fact, there's a base hit in the play at home plate. Way up and in, a ball and 2 strikes.
Andy Pettitte, the on-deck batter. Pitchers will have to hit when they play in the National League ballparks.
So it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. The Yankees won yesterday 9-2. They have been swinging the bat very well. Fouled off, and we'll do it again. Soriano had a couple of hits yesterday. That player with immense talent.
Got off to a great start for the Yankees when he joined the ball club at second base. Has tapered off a little bit.
That usually is indicative of a team finding out that the curveball might give you trouble. Line drive, Ventura right there. But it has been a full day's work in the first inning for Al Leiter. The Yankees come up 3 runs. The play at the plate just barely did not get Bernie Williams. 3-0 Yanks, and the Mets coming to the.
What's he saying?
といてほしいんですけどね。絶対に試合前はストレッチしてくださいね。怪我しますからね。
What's he saying?
来た格好へのパターンって当ててほしいんですよ。アグバヤにはもうリーダーなんです。せやから僕はもう彼に絶対に頑張ってほしいんです。
What's he saying?
He's a big fan.
ファン。
Thank you.
Starting lineup for the New York Mets, our tri-state lineup against Andy Pettitte. Tri-state 4 dealers. Benny Agbayani leads it off. Joe McEwing in the number 2 spot. Mike Piazza hitting 3rd, doing the catching. Todd Zeal in the cleanup spot, hitting 4th. Ventura at 3rd base. Sinjo in center field. Desi Relaford at 2nd base. Ray Ordonez at short. And Al Leiter pitching.
And the defense for the Mets, it'll be Knobloch in left, Williams in center, Spencer in right, Rosas at 3rd, Jeter at short, Soriano at 2nd, Soho at 1st, and Jorge Posada, the catcher.
And here, courtesy of air traffic control, Mr. Gary Thorne. Welcome,
And very
Mr.
little of
Thorne.
that, I might add.
Courtesy or control?
Courtesy or control.
Well, nothing happened in the first
No, you did
top
a
half of the first
good
inning.
job there. Agbayani back in the leadoff spot, takes Pettitte's strike on the outside corner, and quickly 0-2.
Well, if you're the New York Mets, you hope that Pettitte, from that long wait after warmed up, will lose some of his edge, but not now, as he strikes out Agbayani on 3 pitches.
But he's got a lead. I mean, he's tough enough when he doesn't have a lead. When he gets a lead, this is the way he'll pitch. I mean, it's just all strikes. There's no reason for him to play around with it, so Andy Pettitte starts it with a K, and his 75th strikeout in 96 innings pitched for Andy Pettitte as he closes in on the 100 innings worked mark on the season. Put together 204 innings last year for the Yankees. Down the 3rd base line, that'll roll foul. McEwing getting the start in the outfield in this ball game and batting 2nd with Edgardo Alfonso on the DL. 15-day DL with that back injury now that's taken him out of the lineup. So McEwing, while playing in the outfield, is in Alfonso's spot in the lineup. And the treatments will continue, and the hope that Edgardo Alfonso will not have to be on that DL for an extended period of time. But it's been an ongoing problem all season for him and has clearly affected his ability to hit. Ewing back in with the 0-1 count. Yankees with the 3 runs on 4 hits in that first inning. And Pettitte up high with that 1-1.
McEwing bunting on that play, Gary. And remember, Andy Pettitte had that groin pull. I don't think that really has anything to do with McEwing bunting in that situation. It's his left groin, so it's his push-off leg. And if it was bothering him, it would be bothering him when he was throwing the ball, not running. That's when it really begins to get aggravated.
Inside corner given on that. Came out of the ball game with that groin injury in his last start. But the Yankees don't believe there's any problem remaining from that. McEwing with a 1-ball 2-strike count. And the left-hander got it in, kept it away. The probable strike high in on the outside corner. 1 ball, 2 strikes from Andy Pettitte.
Bill McEwing is one of those funny things when you look at numbers, because against left-handers he's sitting under 150, and against right-handers almost 350. Yet gets his starts against left-handed pitching.
Numbers that are not by the book. 1-2 delivery. Pettitte will bury that one inside. Pettitte has gone away from the cut fastball over the last couple of seasons. Not that he doesn't use it. He still does, and it's still an effective pitch. But not as much as he used to. Not as much as Al Leiter still does use the cut fastball. He's got that great sinking fastball to go with it. That one up in the air to left field. Backing up, Knobloch at the wall. Goodbye, home run, McEwing. And Leiter gets one back. Compliments of Joe McEwing. Third home run of the season. I was just going to say that Pettitte is a predominant ground ball pitcher who does not give up a lot of home runs.
He's given up 5 home runs now this year, and that is unusual for a man who is not a home run hitter. But that ball was up. Ball about waist high, and it was up and gone.
The Mets make it a 3-1 ball game. Joe McEwing's third of the season. That one to right field and deep at the wall. Curving, and Spencer makes the play. Piazza hit it hard. And it tailed back toward Shane Spencer in right field. Almost overran that one.
Well, Spencer playing in right field makes a reach back catch on a ball that was fading back of him. Tough catch to make, and he made it.
Couple of hard fly balls, one out and one not quite out.
One pitch right about belt high to Joe McEwing, and that last pitch up about letter high to Piazza. That's not where Andy Pettitte wants to be. That is successful because of that working both sides of the plate, keeping hitters, those right-hand hitters, honest. He'll pitch inside the same way that Leiter does. That two-seam fastball that he throws, he gets a lot of ground balls in that ball. He's got to get that ball down to the strikeout in the strike zone to be effective.
Pettitte starts getting the ball. Any fly ball outs coming off him are not what he wants to see. 1-1 delivered to Zeal. Ty, the 7-for-20 hitter with 2 home runs lifetime off Andy Pettitte. He's had good numbers off the left-hander, along with the doubles, extra base hits, and a very solid .350 average. Pettitte coming inside. Dana DeMuth had given him that call earlier this half inning, and he stared in a little bit on that one because he didn't get it, and it's 3-1.
He didn't get the first call on Piazza too, and he thought that pitch was a strike as well.
3-1 delivery by Pettitte, and he walked him.
Third baseman, number 4, Ramiro.
Joe Torre taking a look at his left-handed ace. A couple of things he doesn't see very often. One a walk and one a home run off Andy Pettitte. He's only walked 21 in the 96+ innings that he's pitched now. Robin Ventura. Ventura's had 1 home run lifetime off Pettitte. Runner at first, 2 down. The off-speed pitch, a called strike. .263 average for him and the 2 dingers. Ventura takes that one inside, 1-1. Pettitte missed on that one. Jorge Posada was set up to come back outside on him, and the pitch rode back in. 1-1 is on the outside corner, 1-2.
That is a nasty breaking ball right there. First pitch curveball to Ventura, and he was looking fastball. And that one just an even better one. Look at the hands, commitment of the hands. Did not read that curveball at all.
And he got him with a heater. So Pettitte gets a couple of strikeouts, but the Mets respond as they get a run on the homer by Joe McEwing. The only hit, 1 base runner left on, and after 1, Yankees have a 3-1 lead. You're still watching from the subway platform. Fans still coming in here tonight with well over 50,000 to be on hand for this game 1 of the series. Andy Pettitte will get a shot at it at the plate and takes a strike on the inside corner. Career numbers for him with a 1 for 14. He'll be followed by Knobloch and Jeter at the top of the order against Leiter. Leiter tries to settle it down here in the second inning. 2-strike count. A lot of pitches, a lot of work in the first inning for Leiter. 0-2 delivery to Pettitte. Bunting popped it up. Ventura.
You see some strange things in interleague play, don't you?
You like the count?
I like the little twinge of humor when you said he was 1 for 14. Like, can you really believe this guy ever got a base hit?
You got a hit.
You know, this interleague play, that's 39 pitches for Leiter.
36 of those in the first, and 15 of them weren't in the strike zone in the first inning. What a job Chuck Knobloch has done. I mean, the story, he's done so well, the story's disappeared. That he has gone from second base where he couldn't throw to first, to play left field, a whole new position, while still anchoring the top of the order. And he's been successful. I mean, I give him great credit. That's not an easy thing to do.
Under a microscope?
Yeah.
And everybody being an expert and being critical. And why can't he do this? I mean, in my era, it was Steve Sachs. I know Ralph has talked about Steve Sachs before about not being able to throw the ball. And I don't know how you. I wouldn't have the slightest idea.
Well, yeah,
it seems incomprehensible.
Steve Blass was a World Series hero, and the next year he couldn't get the ball over the plate. And his explanation of the whole thing is concentration. He says somewhere, somehow, you lose your concentration.
And can't get it back. That's what baffles everybody about it. 2-1 delivery. And yet Knobloch goes out to left field, a position he's never played, has made one error so far this year.
One of the great stories was Pedro Guerrero played for the Dodgers. They made him a third baseman. He was really an outfielder first base. And they said, what do you think about when you're playing third? And he said, I think of two things. I pray they don't hit the ball to me, and I pray they don't hit the ball to Steve Sachs.
3-ball, 2-strike count. Leiter wanted that corner call and did not get it. Well, I think Knobloch's more than happy to have the ball to him. Don't think he has a
no problem in left field.
No problem in left field. Hit it to me. I'm all right. 3-2 delivery. Just got enough of that. It'll stay at 3-2. And in learning the new position, he's still been able to keep the offense going. 10 doubles, couple of triples, 3 home runs. And that .266 batting average that he helped out with a single his first time up in this game. Jeter waiting on deck, 3-2. He was fooled on that pitch, but right off the fist jammed it just enough.
Knobloch's got to be tremendously strong. To me, just watching him, his hands and his forearms have to be tremendously strong. You think there's no way that he would generate any bat speed, but it's off from right there, and he gets tremendous bat speed to the ball. Very short swing.
3-2 will have to be done a third time as that one is fouled off.
Unconventional. You see him lay that bat back. You don't see that very often.
But he does have that short swing, gets on the ball quickly. But that little lay off of the bat is the thing that you wonder why. There it is. Drops it down.
Center field, Sinjo. A little hop, skip, and a catch. Knobloch's retired, so Leiter gets the first 2 Yankees here in the second inning.
Watch the bat laid off right there, but he gets it back up in hitting position and then quickly gets the bat on the ball.
You wouldn't teach that.
No way.
Been effective for him. He really must be strong in his forearms. He's got to be real strong forearms and strong wrists.
Now Derek Jeter with 2 down, nobody on. Jeter a single scored in the first inning. He has torn up the left-handers this year. 354 off the southpaws, 269 off right-handers. Jeter at 288 on the season. Jeter's not had a good month of June so far. He's hitting only 176. 10 hits and 52 at-bats.
And you look at his batting position with the hands held almost over the top of his head.
You took two styles. You couldn't get much different than what you saw Knobloch and Jeter back-to-back in the Yankee lineup.
So what that tells you is that hitting is individual, and you have to teach it individually.
3-0 delivered. And Jeter just taking that pitch, and Leiter laid it in there.
Before you start, it's if you go through the ball the right way, when you're making contact, it determines whether you're good or bad. And you can drop the ball and bat around, and you get in that right zone, you're okay.
Ventura running throw. Good recovery by Leiter. After the Yankees got 3 runs on him on a very pleasant early summer evening, 80 degrees at game time, very light breeze blowing from right to left. See all the white summer shirts on hand, and oh yeah, lots of signs. Andy Pettitte goes back to work. Sinjo, Relaford, and Ordonez looking for heat, got one and missed it.
Here are the signs that were started right in the Polo Grounds with the New York Mets in 1962. And when the Mets played the Yankees for the first time in the Mayor's Trophy game in 1963, that was in June of 1963, the Yankees confiscated all the placards, as Casey Stengel would call them, all the signs, and wouldn't let them take them into the stands. Incidentally, the Mets won that first game by a score of 6-2, and the winning pitcher was Carlton Woolley.
Carlton Woolley.
And Carlton Woolley was the starting and best pitcher for the Mets that season for Casey Stengel, and he started him against the Yankees because he wanted to beat the Yankees in that first game, and the Mets did win that game, the Mayor's Trophy game.
2-2. Now about all the games are referred to as Subway Series games. I think check swing didn't go. I think that's kind of inappropriate in light of the World Series. I mean, I understand why they're called Subway Series games, obviously, but the World Series was the Subway Series. I don't know, there's no other name that we use for these games, regular season games. 3-2, and Andy Pettitte's got his third strikeout.
You think of Subway Series, you think of the Dodgers and the Yankees.
The second baseman.
At least I do, and maybe it's generational, depending where you are, where you were at that time. But Subway Series meant World Series to me.
And you really could take the subway from any part of New York to Ebbets Field or to the Polo Grounds in those days. Of course, the first so-called series between the American League and National League was way back when, before subways. And that was the Yankees and the, no, it was the Giants and the Dodgers.
Desi Relaford at second base for Edgardo Alfonso as this season moves on. Relaford's importance to the ball club becomes greater and greater. And Leiter over there redoing, a little bandaging around his feet.
That blue bandage on his foot is to keep it from scraping as he pivots on the rubber. Sometimes you scrape so much and get a hard piece of clay out there, you can end up actually tearing skin off the side of the ball of your foot. And so you protect the toe and you protect that inside part of the foot. I didn't have one of those. That is, somebody invented those post 1986. I never saw one. They used to wear pads, big pads on them. Used to rip skin right off.
They used to have toe plates that pitchers wore.
Oh, this is, yeah, those became passe, those metal things, yeah.
Right in the metal thing, right in the toe of the shoe.
Relaford's gone, inside corner strike, and Andy Pettitte has struck out the last 3 Mets that he's faced. A couple swinging and one called, 4 in the game.
One thing that he has changed here, he's thrown a lot more breaking balls earlier in the count. First pitch to Relaford was a curveball. Then he threw him a fastball, and he was late on the fastball and hit it foul. Now he got in that pitch, 2-strike pitch. And Relaford wasn't quite sure what to look for, what to expect to a fastball right by him, right down the middle, maybe middle half. That's when you've got a hitter right where you want him, a bit confused.
Ray Ordonez with 2 down, nobody on. Yankees leading at 3-1 here in the second inning, and Andy Pettitte's fastball is outside and a 2-0 count. Great shot from our Air 11 helicopter. Those shots from upstairs. What a sight that is, isn't it? And 2-0 delivery. And Ordonez fouls it off. 2 ball, 1 strikeout.
Scott Brocious moving back at third base now. He was up even with the bag. Protecting against the bunt. Now Scooby with 1 strike. He's going to move back up, but he started to walk away. I thought there were 2 strikes. 2 outs. I protect against the double here as opposed to the swinging bunt.
This is Andy Pettitte's play or not, and it is. Got him. So Pettitte feels his position. Didn't look like the groin bothered him there.
A release point. See that right there? Right there. See the angle of his arm this way? And now Leiter a little bit flatter when he releases the ball. We'll go through the Leiter motion. On the left is the angle of the arm. Now look at Leiter. Look at the difference in the angle here. Now Leiter doesn't necessarily throw all those pitches from that angle, but a very distinct delivery release point on those 2 pitches.
As a hitter, you would prefer Pettitte over Leiter.
I would prefer Pettitte over Leiter. Leiter doesn't throw out there a lot. He'll throw out there when he tries to throw that backdoor slider, just like that pitch right there. But he is better when he comes up top, not quite as much where Pettitte was, and he uses that cutter to the inside. If you watch closely, you'll be able to differentiate the difference between the arm angles that he uses. And it's not all bad to have different arm angles.
2 of the greatest pitchers in baseball, Warren Spahn and Sandy Koufax, flew over the top like Pettitte has.
Right.
You showed on the replay there. They came right over the top like that. And it's easier to hit against them. Of course, the stuff they have makes a difference too.
Good play by Zeal. Williams out of there.
Kind of a tale of 2 cities right there. Bernie Williams, his first time up, got a jam shot right on the fist and flared one to right field. Got a base hit. Actually a good pitch by Leiter. Here he gets the ball out over the plate and hits a rocket.
And
it's a hang with him.
And Addaball got him out of there. Shane Spencer getting the start in right field with Justice out of there, and the pitch is taken up high for a ball. Spencer didn't believe he was going to be seeing this kind of action this early on his return. With Justice not in the lineup, Spencer getting some of that playing time that he covets so dearly here in this series against the New York Mets.
The Yankees have put Dave Justice on the DL, so Spencer's going to get a chance to play.
He thought he was going to have to come back and sit for a while, and he drills it deep to left field. Wouldn't you know it? Goodbye home run. Not supposed to play. What do? You get a dinger, and it's 4-1. Spencer gets his 2nd home run of the season, only the 8th given up by Leiter. 6 of those have been hit by right-handers.
Shane Spencer, a high fastball and tremendous top hand. And that's a rocket to left field. Talking about a guy 5'11", weighs 225 pounds. Just about as hard as a brick. He muscled that ball right out of here.
That's 2 home runs and 4 at-bats. Not a bad ratio for Shane Spencer, just coming back to the Yankees. Jorge Posada. And he just reached back into Piazza's glove to foul that one off. 2-strike count on the Yankee catcher. Strikeout victim Spencer. Hey, you get an opportunity, you deliver, you play. He's making some statements early on back with the Yankees. And the 0-2's foul back again. Spencer's had to battle through some injuries, including last year at Shea Stadium almost exactly a year ago. The knee just went gone.
It's amazing how many little things like that can change your whole career.
He's back, and the Yankees know it, and so do the Mets now.
There was an article in one of the papers today about that play and about how Spencer, he said, "Now, I don't blame anybody on the grounds crew. I'm not saying anything. It's one of the things where I just got in the soft spot and slipped." And talking about, that's the old term, blow it out. That's exactly what happened. He reminds me a lot of Harmon Killebrew.
Same build.
Yeah, same build.
It's got a long way to go to be like Harmon Killebrew.
It's about 570 more. You'll get there.
Long way to go.
1-2 is fouled off. Stays that way on Jorge Posada.
I know it's before your time, but the old ballpark in Washington, D.C. where Harmon broke in.
You're talking about me or Thorne?
Anybody.
I'm talking about you.
Even the audience.
You.
When he broke in at Washington, left field foul line, the fence was 402 feet. The left field at the foul pole.
The hitter's park, huh?
You love that yard.
That was
I'd love to pitch there.
People are going, they played baseball in Washington?
Yeah, they had a saying about the Washington Senators when they played there. First in war, first in peace, and last in the American League.
Great saying.
1-2 delivery. I went not to that ballpark, but when Williams was managing, Ted Williams managed the Washington Senators, yeah, at RFK Stadium. And I used to go to games there when I was very, very young.
That was the opposite. That had a left field fence of about 275
Yeah.
feet.
Oh, it's
Bill
bad.
Kaplan had a home run in an old timers game when he was 75 years old.
I was there.
You were there?
I saw that.
You saw me. I was there.
Yeah, I saw that. Luke Appling did indeed.
75 years old.
Hit a home run. That was unbelievable. I mean, to see him run the bases, it was just what a rare baseball treat.
They sent the pitcher down the next day.
And he's never been heard from since.
They buried him.
Whoa, whoa.
That
Whole new
is really
meaning to being
cold.
sent down. 3-ball, 2-strike count. Leiter on Jorge Posada. Posada's strikeout victim. 2-3-2 to him, and he's gone again. Let's take a look at our Toyota out-of-town scoreboard as interleague play continues, and this is the 5th year of interleague baseball. The Cubs won at home against Minnesota. Philadelphia is having to deal with reality. Florida playing some good baseball right now. Toronto leading Montreal. Battle of the Canadian cities. Pittsburgh with a lead there. Boston over Atlanta. How about that for a battle? And the intra-Texas battle going on as well. We'll keep you updated as we go along tonight. Only one game drawing some weather. Cincinnati, Colorado, Cincinnati. More rain there. They had a game rained out Wednesday. Scott Brocious on the check swing. Did he go? A check to first? No, Mark Wegner.
You're talking about home runs, Ralph, and one of the things sometimes you find a surprise about numbers. You go back and you look where's Barry Bonds? Where is he in this home run spree that he has been on? And you look at the leaders, and of course, everybody remembers Aaron and Ruth and Willie Mays and stuff. Maybe Frank Robinson, but Harmon Killebrew, 5th all-time home run list, 573, 5th all-time.
He's the one whose name we keep leaving out.
Yeah, and he doesn't get a nod. 573.
And one of the nicest guys who
absolutely. Absolutely.
So tell me, Mr. Kiner, is Mr. Bonds going to hit 73, 4, 5?
How about higher? 80, 90?
No.
Whatever. I mean, anything's possible.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Well, he's proving that right now. 3-1 delivery, and Leiter gets 3-2 on Brocious. I mean, the pace that Bonds is setting, 34 home runs. Louis Gonzalez with 26 is second to it.
26 isn't bad.
No.
He's ahead of the pace of McGuire, who holds a record of 70.
Foul ball. He's also got a chance at a couple of other marks. He has a chance of having the highest slugging percentage ever Babe Ruth, I think it was in the 20s that the record was set, slugging percentage. Bonds is .903. If he can stay up there, he's got a chance at that, and he's got a chance at the most walks ever in a season that was also set by Babe Ruth, as well as the home run mark.
Amazing. He's got one of the great swings. There's no question about that. All of a sudden, he's found how to make it work on a consistent basis.
Ambrosius unhappy with it, but that's the call. He stood there for a while. 3 strikeouts, but another run added. Shane Spencer off Al Leiter delivered the home run, a solo shot to make it 4-1 Yankees. Lead out hitting the Mets 5-1 early on. Welcome back, everybody. Tom Seaver, what's this all about right here? Would you explain this?
Well, that's kind of a 1969 fashion. And there's a mediocre left-hander on the mound against Davy Johnson, and a nothing fly ball to left. And a fellow named Mr. Cleon Jones out there says that is it, and the 1969 New York Mets are world champions. The only reason I said mediocre.
Mediocre?
Because he's sitting to my left. Yeah. Mr. Jerry Kooosman. Hi, Koos. How you doing?
Hi, Thomas. I'm doing damn good, thank you.
Good to hear that. That's not an unusual answer from you.
You know, just watching that fly ball that Davy Johnson hit as a pitcher and a full crowd that's, you know, at 150 decibels. Normally we depend on where the ball goes or how far it's going by the crack of the bat. Well, it was so loud I couldn't hear the crack of the bat, and so for a moment my heart stopped because I thought maybe it was a home run. So I was really pleased when I saw Cleon settle underneath it.
Well, that's a day. Those of us on that ball club will never forget it. There's no doubt about that. You won 2 games in that World Series.
I was lucky.
You got lucky in game 2.
Lucky in game 2.
You had a no-hitter for 7 innings.
Yeah, perfect game. Perfect game.
I know what I'm doing. I'm throwing that out there for all those people who know history. Yeah, no-hitter. I mean, a no-brainer for the Orioles couldn't touch him for 7 innings.
Well, you did a good job of setting them up the day before.
Yeah, I gave him, let him have 5 runs, and I lulled him into that confidence.
Benny Agbayani up.
There's a great series, Koo, between something we didn't have. We didn't get to play the Yankees, in this interleague play. And there's one question I'd like to ask you is that, if we had, how would you have pitched to Babe Ruth?
And Agbayani gets one on his way. That's a dinger. Benny Agbayani with a homer off Andy Pettitte. And the Mets with homers by McEwing and Agbayani. They've got 2 on the board. His 3rd of the year and his 12th RBI.
Gary talked earlier about just 5 home runs that Pettitte had given up so far this year. Last year, he only gave up 17 in 200 innings plus. And 2 here tonight, both of them on balls up in the strike zone. And Piazza just missed one to right field.
Pettitte's making some mistakes in location against the Mets. It's only their 2nd hit. The only hits they've had off Andy Pettitte, home runs. He has struck out 5. Taken up high, Jerry Kooosman. But, we'll watch the homer, then we'll get back to Koos.
What do you think of this one, Koo?
He's strong. I've watched him hit him out before.
How many home runs did you have?
Oh, God, let me count them.
That's
I think 2.
Already?
Now, what was the question that Mr. Seaver asked about interleague?
I want if interleague could play, how would he pitch against Babe Ruth?
I have an answer for that. I was 2nd on the staff behind Tom Seaver, so I would have seen how Tom pitched him first, and then I would have just pitched the opposite.
You going to run for office someday here soon?
I'm telling you, bus trips were never dull. Going to the airport or the hotel.
McEwing's ground ball. Alfonso Soriano up with it. And Koos, you are here with the Alumni Association, New York Mets.
I am, and thank you very much. J.P. Morgan Chase has been nice enough to sponsor with the Mets. The Alumni Association gives us a chance to bring a few of us in on home stands on weekends. And it gives some of us guys a chance to say hello to each other and meet some of the fans. And see how the Mets are doing. And
I think it's great for the players, you know, and it's great. Obviously, great for the ball club.
Yeah, it's in the center field. Williams, he's got a beat on this one. He'll wait. Jerry, it's great to see you.
Thank you. It's always good to come back to the home of Shea Stadium.
Appreciate it. Jerry Kooosman. Tom Seaver's also here with the Alumni Weekend, who just happens to be working the broadcast tonight.
Good to see you, Koo.
Did you know? Our shots are from the great Channel 11 helicopter. Those great pictures you're looking at. It can leap tall buildings, spot a traffic jam. It's Air 11, the only digital chopper in the country. Clearer pictures, better coverage. Air 11, only on the WB11 Morning News. Flying high overhead here at Shea with shots like this tonight with our full house on hand for Game 1 of this series with the Yankees. And look who's here. Tom Seaver bought these in himself. He brought these with him so we'd be able to use them on the air. First time they've made an appearance at Shea this year.
I'm not, you know.
Those old
Bring Kooosman back.
bobblehead dolls right there.
Bring Kooosman back.
The bobblehead dolls have become an enormous success in baseball.
That doesn't mean we like them.
I didn't say that.
I know you didn't.
No, they're not bad at all.
Yeah. Especially, remember Seaver's here we had?
Really had a bobbling head, huh?
It really did. Yeah, and so did the doll. Louis Soho with a 2-strike count. There they are right there.
Number 41.
They are negative towards you.
Okay, that's a lot of fun. Okay.
And Leiter's up high with that. And a 1-ball, 2-strike count.
I'm pretty afraid to know what Kooosman would say if he was still looking at that. He's the king of the one-liners. I'm telling you.
Yes, he is. He can tell some of the greatest stories.
Only the bad thing about Kooosman that you heard him like 17 times a month.
Piazza of the putout. Soho, a strikeout victim. 4 Ks for Leiter.
We were in the press room last year, and Rusty stopped him walking in there, and Kooosman's up there talking to all of us, and someone said to him, "How would you pitch Rusty Stop?" He says, "Don't walk him."
Immediately.
Right up.
Doesn't
right
take
up
just
that.
he got the one-liners within a quarter of a second. It's, you know, don't walk him.
Alfonso Soriano, Yankee second baseman at 280 on the year. Off-speed pitch for a strike. He lined out to third his first time up.
And the one thing about Jerry Kooosman, there's nobody enjoyed Jerry Kooosman's jokes more than Jerry Kooosman.
Which drove you nuts.
Every day you come to the clubhouse and he'd tell the same joke. And then there would only be one person laughing. And he arguably had a worse laugh than I did. And that ain't easy.
Well, when it came to pitching, there was no laughing matter.
Man. If he hadn't hurt his arm or shoulder, he'd be in the Hall of Fame.
I thought he should have won the Cy Young Award one year. The year that Randy Jones won it.
He was something. You talk about pitching inside the right-handers.
2-ball, 2-strike count. Now Leiter with 1 walk. 4 strikeouts. Our Toyota line score 4-5-0 for the Yankees. 2-2-0 for the Mets.
The all-time was 1969. We're playing the Cubs, and Kooosman's on the mound, and A.J. had batted, and A.J. went down. The ball almost killed him. Just missed his head. And Bill Hands was the pitcher for the Cubs, and Kooosman. The next half inning, they had Ron Santo at the plate. And Santo went down. His cap came down about 4 innings later.
Soriano got a lot of that one. Good play by Benny Agbayani.
He hit that ball right on the nose, and it looked like it died in left center field. Good play by Benny Agbayani, but he really hit that one in a good swing. I thought the ball had a chance to be out of the ballpark. This is a fair ballpark to hit in.
For pitchers.
For pitchers. You'd call it a pitcher's ballpark. I'm sure you would.
Yeah.
As would Bobby Mercer.
Yeah.
But you don't get any cheap home runs like you do at Yankee Stadium. If you pull that ball down the line, I was talking to Mercer before the game. He said, "Boy, I hated playing here. because I had that hook swing that he used for Yankee Stadium.
302 feet
Yeah,
swing,
trying to hook it down in those seats down the right field line. He said, I got over here, and it didn't work. Those couple of years that the Yankees played here, and the Mets and Yankees shared this stadium.
What manager managed for the Yankees and never won a game at home in Yankee Stadium?
Oh, I know the answer. Somebody told me that the other night. Yeah, that's a good one.
Bill
managed the 2 years here.
5 strikeouts. Leiter sets the side down in order, but he's thrown 88. New York Mets baseball is being brought to you by Nissan, driven to bring you the most imaginative cars, trucks, and SUVs. And by the Verizon Timeless Plan. Now that's long distance done right. Let's check in downstairs with Sean Kimmerlich. Sean.
Well, Gary, as we told you earlier, Mets getting some bad news tonight. Edgardo Alfonzo put on the 15-day disabled list. He had an MRI taken. It showed no serious damage to his back, but there is some torn cartilage around one of the discs. The Mets are pretty confident that a couple of weeks of rest is all Fonzie needs to really get that back completely healthy. Also, Timo Perez, he hurt his shoulder Wednesday night making a diving catch in Baltimore. He's not in the starting lineup tonight, but he is okay. You may see him in a pinch hitting role later tonight, and considering he's the Mets' hottest hitter right now, he may be needed. Back upstairs to you.
All right, Sean. Well, it has been a season where every game there's another story of another injured New York Met, even if it's not enough to go on the DL. It affects the lineup. And who's available for Bobby Valentine? Jay Payton's been in and out. Todd Zeile, Robin Ventura, and Sinjo do up here in the 4th inning. Zeile drew a walk his first time up, the only one given up by Andy Pettitte in the game. 4-2 ball game. Yankees on top. They got him early. 3 in the 1st inning.
You know, Gary, speaking of Perez and Todd Zeile in the World Series last year, the most important play of the whole World Series was when Zeile hit the top of the fence in left field, and Perez, who was on first, didn't run, and he got thrown out. If the Mets had scored there on the double by Zeile, it could have been, would have been a different story.
I wonder, Ralph, you know, as I thought about the World Series last year between these two ball clubs, more and more I think of the little things that the Mets didn't do that the Yankees did. As a matter, I always think of experience, of playing ball players who've been in that position so many times that the Yankees had and the Mets didn't. And I think that made a very big difference in that World Series.
Rather than experience, I think it's more in the type of ball player that's on the field. It's got to be experience too. Here's the play we talked about. Zeile's ball hitting the very top of the wall. Perez thought it was going to be a home run. He finally starts to run hard and gets thrown out at the plate, and that was really the turning point of that whole World Series.
And a pitch outside of Ventura.
Ralph was talking about too is assuming that the ball is going to be a home run and it cost your ball club a run, and that, I think that has a little bit to do why the Mets have gotten off to a rocky start this year, is the assumption that if they show up they automatically earn a right to postseason play.
It doesn't work that way.
And a lot of clubs, this is not just the Mets, it's a lot of clubs don't realize how hard they worked the year before to get to where they were at postseason play. And if there's anything that's to be credited to is to Joe Torre, in the sense that he's been able to tell his ball club, don't forget how hard you worked last year, how hard you worked to earn the right to play in postseason play. And I think for some of the Mets, they forgot how hard they've worked for it the last couple of years.
And they had to work hard, and they had to come from behind and win all those ball games.
Joe Torre's on his way out now, Ralph, and I think this is about Andy Pettitte, and you wonder whether or not this is the groin problem may have been acting up, and that Torre knew something and was watching, because clearly he sent Gene Monahan out there in a heartbeat after that last pitch. Now, he had to field one ball earlier in the ball game, and it looked like he was all right, but he went a little slowly to the dugout. And Torre is taking him out of the game. Pitching coach Mel Stottlemyre watching, and Andy Pettitte's coming out.
I was walking a little bit gingerly. And the worst thing about groin pulls is that they can be worsened And you got to be careful. When you get a pull, you got to make sure it's not going to be a more serious one by continuing to pull against it.
Boy, he was pitching well. 6 strikeouts and a walk. 2 runs, 2 hits off him. 59 pitches thrown. He is gone for the Yankees. Torre is still out there talking with Dana DeMute, the plate umpire, and Rick Reed, the third base umpire. What do you think?
Well, if you go back and look at the last 2 pitches to Robin Ventura, and that a breaking ball to the inside. Now watch Pettitte. He's going to look in the dugout once and taking a lot of time to get back to the rubber. And look in the dugout again. And then he'll shake his leg right there. Now watch this next pitch. This was a batting practice rolling the curveball. This is what Joe Torre saw. Watch the effort in this delivery. That is a batting practice pitch right there, and that was enough. This is the bunt play earlier in the ball game, and it didn't look like he slipped on anything. He took plenty of
Stadium with Tom Seaver, Ralph Kiner. I'm Gary Thorne. Great to have you with us. Robin Ventura, 2-1 count, back at the plate, but a new pitcher and throwing with the other arm. Mendoza, starter, reliever, has been for the last 5 years, both of those roles, and has done it again this year. That one will get away on ball 4. Andy Pettitte will be charged with a walk since the count was 2-1. So Ventura will be a batter. Officially, Pettitte gave the walk to. And the Mets have a runner on. Potential tying run coming to the plate in Sinjo. So Pettitte walked 2, struck out 6. And will be responsible for that base runner on at first base. Going 3 1/3 innings worth of work. Only a couple of hits, the 2 home runs off Pettitte. Sinjo, a strikeout victim his first time up against the right-hander Mendoza. Fouls it right straight back. How valuable has Sinjo been? I was looking at the numbers today for him. 5 game-winning RBIs. Game-winning runs, and 7 game-winning RBIs. So 12 either runs or RBIs that have resulted in a win for the Mets. He is number 1 in those totals for New York so far this year. But after the high pitch and fouled it off, 2-strike count.
And with Jay Payton going down with a hamstring pull, Gary, the Mets are really without a center fielder and had to find one that could fill in out there. Bobby Valentine will rotate his lineups, as you know. He uses all kinds of lineups. Sinjo, with outstanding speed, he has excellent speed in center field. He has some trouble in those early games in center, judging those balls hit right at him, but he's done an adequate job at center substituting for Payton.
What a hot cheater! No play anywhere. Ball looked like it was going to go through anyway. That'll be a hit for Sinjo, and the Mets have runners at first and second.
Marvelous play by Jeter to get to this ball, as it takes that very high hop, makes a great catch on it, and an accurate throw, but there just wasn't enough time to get the out.
That's good base running by Robin Ventura to get down there. I don't know if that ball is going to go through. You have 2 outstanding defensive shortstops in the game here tonight in Ordonez and Jeter. If Ventura doesn't hustle there, he's getting an out at second base.
Desi Relaford now. 333 with runners in scoring position for Relaford. He takes a strike. He's got runners at first and second. 1 down. Yankees will play for 2 in the infield with Ventura and Sinjo, the base runners, against Mendoza. Was on the DL to start the season with an ailing arm. Mendoza's 0-1. Up high. 1-1.
This is really a big at bat for Relaford, because Ordonez is hitting behind him and the pitcher follows, and Leiter not a good hitting pitcher. So the Mets have their 1 better hitter up of the 3.
Stottlemyre out in a hurry, wants to make sure Mendoza settles down right here. Obviously the Mets have a chance to put a big inning together with only 1 away. Great to see Mel back. How good does he look after what he went through, huh?
It's terrific.
Oh, man.
Absolutely fabulous.
Looks great. Battle with cancer. Kept him out a lot of last year. Relaford, a long look to third to Stearns. 1 ball, 1 strike count, 1 down. Mendoza missed outside with it, 2-1. Robin Ventura and Sinjo, the base runners. Outfield not particularly deep, moved in a bit on Relaford. Keep that in mind in case of a base hit, especially left and center, Knobloch and Williams. Spencer's playing about right field normal. Want him outside and he won't bite. 3-1. Mendoza, a couple of starts, then back in the bullpen for him. John Stearns with the signs at third. Mendoza, right shoulder problem, started on the DL, rehab. 3-1 delivery. Relaford looking, fouls it back.
Well, you got to see how Bobby Valentine's going to play it here. 3-2, 1 out. Start the runners. I would think so, to stay out of the double play.
Especially with the hitters that are coming up next.
3-2, 1 away. Jeter holding Ventura close at second. Runners go. Hit towards the hole. It's a base hit. Relaford a single. They're going to wave him home. Here comes Knobloch. Throw to the plate. Cut off. And it's a 1-run game. If he's not running, he doesn't score.
Scott Brocious left his position at third base to cover Ventura running to third. He was out of position because he broke too early before the ball was hit. That's a big mental mistake right there by Scott Brocious. He left his defensive
really
position.
Bad mistake by Brocious. He left the position, left the hole open. He was covering at third base. So a good break for the Mets on something that will not be recorded as an error. But it was a mental mistake.
And you saw Brocious' reaction. He knew it immediately. He jumped up in the air, put his glove over his head, knew he had broken to the bag too soon. Ordonez runners at first and second. 1-0 count, 1 down. 13th RBI for Relaford, who's at first. Went to the outside part of the plate, popped him up, second base. Soriano, infield fly rule in effect. And there are 2 down. So you were talking about, Ralph, how important it was Mendoza with that at-bat against Relaford that he delivered.
Really a big play for the Mets and a good job by Relaford. Get the Mets within 1.
Brocious at third, hollering out some signals over towards first base. There's Relaford, who got the RBI and the big hit. Now Leiter coming up. With runners at first and second and 2 down, Brocious will stay in on the grass at third. Last hit, you see, Maddox, 43 at bats ago. Trying to lay one down here and missed it for a strike.
What Leiter is trying to do here with the attempt at a bunt is to get on base and hopefully leave it up to Agbayani, the on-deck batter.
Willie Randolph setting the infield from the Yankee dugout. The 0-1 is towards the hole, but Soriano's there and makes the play. The Mets chip away. The walk to Ventura mattered. With Andy Pettitte coming out of the ball game, the run is charged to him. The RBI to Relaford, and the Mets are back to within 1. Are you careful with Leiter on the pitch count at this point of the season?
Well, he struggled his last time out in Tampa. He had about right around 100 pitches down there, and a lot early. I know I would tell you if he's hurt. And I asked him the day after he pitched down in Tampa. He said, "No, I'm fine. There's nothing wrong with the elbow. I just was not very comfortable." The other thing is he's your age. You don't take him out of the ball game. You're back within a run.
He's thrown 89 pitches, 54 of them for strikes so far for Leiter.
You say go ahead, throw 130. He can throw, he can throw 3 more innings. He can get you to the 7th inning.
Well, where does it say?
I wouldn't take him out.
What does it say in the rule book that you can only go throw 100 pitches in the ball?
Oh, I agree. I don't. That's I mean, everybody has a so-called pitch count. I mean, the pitch count being that's where you begin, on average, to lose effectiveness. As a general rule, it's not the same for every pitcher. Some pitchers are about 100, some 115, some 125, some 140. Nolan Ryan used to run out of gas about 175. I mean, that's the exception.
Exception, right.
But everybody is different, and everybody has a certain area in which they begin to run out of gas.
Now, Leiter's had the strained elbow this year, though.
Right.
That's right, and that has to be a consideration.
You would if he has a, let's say his limit's 130. Well, you're going to take him to about 120, maybe at most, 125 at most, depending how he feels every time he comes in that dugout. Charlie Huff or Bobby Valentine, somebody's going to talk to him. And how is he throwing?
Derek Jeter's up, 1 down. Jeter's got a 5-game hit streak extended with a single in the first. He's 1 for 2 in the ball game. And off the fist, great pitch by Leiter. McEwing coming, Relaford out. McEwing makes it. 2 down. Well, he'll stay in a lot longer if he can retire batters with a couple of pitches.
This is a good inning for him right here.
Well, he's throwing the ball a lot better right now than he was in the first couple innings. The first pitch to Jeter, he threw a fastball right by him, right down the middle, and the ball popped at the strike zone. At the plate, that ball exploded. Brocious was late on the ball. Now, Leiter never really felt like he got comfortable or loose down in that game against the Tampa Ray Devil Rays. And here he's throwing better than he was in the first couple innings. You don't throw the ball right by Derek Jeter like that. This is a good test right here. Bernie Williams.
Bernie Williams has already delivered an RBI with a base hit and has a stolen base. Right-handed, 246, left-handed, 328 coming into the game for the switch hitter. Leiter trying to quick pitch him right there. Williams stepped out. 1 strike count on him with 2 down. Leiter trying to get out of this inning in a hurry. Since the injury to Al Leiter, he's been spectacular. As after he came off the DL, he has had an ERA of just over 2 for Bobby Valentine. Talking with Charlie Huff right there. And not getting the outside corner. 2-1. 4 wins, 5 losses in his career against the Yankees. 3-1 since the DL. 2-1 delivery. Williams to short. Ordonez on the in-between hop. Good inning. Good inning for Leiter, who's now retired 8 in a row since the home run by Spencer.
The best game he ever pitched in his life.
Ooh, there's a good curveball right there, huh?
Yeah.
That's the one you're talking about.
I never saw him as animated as he was after that game. That game meant so much to Dave Malicki. It was probably, you're right, it's probably the best game he ever pitched and probably meant more to him than any game he's ever pitched. Benny Agbayani, Mets down by 1. Mendoza's on the mound for Andy Pettitte, who left in the 4th inning with 1 away with an injury. Pettitte was charged with all 3 runs, homers by Agbayani and McEwing. 3rd of the season for Agbayani. Good breaking ball by Mendoza.
Well, if you're watching from the bullpen, you saw Agbayani hit a fastball from Andy Pettitte up and out over the plate and down that right field line. Big, strong Benny Agbayani going the other way. If you're watching from the bullpen, you saw it was a fastball and say, well, I'm going to mix in a curveball or 2 here against him. Believe it or not, some of those pitchers do watch the ball game from the bullpen.
No.
Every once in a while you'll catch them with one eye over there peeking at the field.
Most of them do. 2-2 delivery, breaking ball hit in the air to right field. Spencer. One down in the 5th.
Right fielder, number 47, Joe McEwing.
Joe McEwing. He delivered his home run in the 1st inning. His 3rd of the year. Now we'll go through the preparation as he does for each pitch.
Can we change that just to make it each at bat? Do it once in at bat and not per pitch.
No, can't do that. Showed bunt, drew it back. Ball 1.
They go back and you think about the exact opposite that is Henry Aaron. Used to come up there. He had a ritual in which he set the bat down against his hip, put the helmet on his head, walked in the batter's box, and once he was in the batter's box, never left.
Not many good hitters left the box in the days of Hank Aaron. Ted Williams the same way. He'd put that foot back where he wanted it, his back foot, left foot, put it or plant it there, and when he would take a pitch, he would move his right foot back, but his left foot never left the spot. He put it in when he came to the plate.
2-0 count, 1 down. Mendoza. This is inside and a 3-0 count. Mendoza's been hit hard this year. Opposition hitting .292 off him in the 37 innings that he's worked. Pretty good walk ratio. He's walked 10, struck out 29, but he's given up 42 hits in 37 innings. 3-0 delivery to him. McEwing taking a strike. Mendoza being asked to come on and give some important middle relief work yet one more time. The only major leaguer who over the last 5 years in each one of the years has had a win both as a starter and a reliever for Joe Torre. He's relied on him as a starter and out of the pen. And McEwing, Roches, 2 down. Mike Piazza coming up. The story of this series before it started wasn't who was going to play, but who wasn't. The Rocket, Roger Clemens, and the World Series incident that will go down in baseball history with he and Mike Piazza. Piazza standing in here is flied out twice to center and to right field. Takes the breaking ball for a strike.
His first time, 2 times up. He went after the first pitch. This time he takes it. Clemens beat Piazza last year in the 2nd game of the split doubleheader between the Mets and Yankees.
And he reached. The rotation changed, as all fans know, by Torre, so Clemens would not be in this series. This is the incident.
And the next game that they face each other, he throws a bat in his direction. Shattered the bat with the pitch, and then Clemens threw the bat in his direction.
I want to tell you one thing. If you had built an arena out there, right, at that point, get everybody out of that ballpark and put those 2 individuals in there, because Roger Clemens is not a little man.
No, he's not.
And that's one of the strongest men I've ever seen at home plate. And this guy's like an NFL linebacker. You could have charged some pretty good prices to see that one.
Good pitch by Mendoza. Piazza retired on the strikeout, and a 1-2-3 inning for Mendoza. The Yankees continue to lead it.
He organized his pitching staff to have his top 3 pitchers pitch in this series. Leiter and Napier and Reed. That's how he orchestrated that, to have those 3 guys starting. What Joe Torre did was orchestrated so Roger Clemens would not pitch here. There is no doubt in my mind. Because what Bobby Valentine is talking about in that pregame news conference about Clemens getting hit, would he have been hit? You bet he would have been hit. No question about it. And he wouldn't have had to order it.
No.
The players would take care of it. And he'd have gotten drilled. There's not one doubt in my mind. And what Joe Torre did,
there's no doubt in Torre's mind either.
That's why. And that's why he didn't even, you're not even going to come close to see this scenario. I mean, he organized it perfectly. 1, to get rid of the circus, and 2, to not let his player get hurt.
And I think it was a good move on Torre's part. When they play in Yankee Stadium again, it'll be where Clemens would not come to the plate. But in the National League, as a pitcher, you have to bat.
2-1 strike count. Shane Spencer. Towering fly ball. Spencer had a home run in the 3rd inning. Not here. And of course, Don Zimmer is added to the fire in an article in the July issue of Esquire. Zimmer, again, as he had done before, spoke about Mike Piazza, calling him a little man, that he lost respect for Piazza, that Piazza showed himself to be a little man by claiming that Clemens had thrown at him intentionally. Zimmer saying nobody knows whether he was thrown at intentionally except the guy who threw the ball.
Well, Zimmer's been hit twice in his career and seriously hurt. You don't know whether the pitcher threw at you or not. You have no idea, but you certainly have the right to think he did. And so what's wrong with Piazza saying, I think he threw at me? Clemens has had a reputation for being a headhunter in his entire career. As a matter of fact, when Clemens came to the Yankees, Jeter came to the plate in spring training and batting practice with the entire catcher's gear on. So what do you think he's thinking about that? Because Clemens does throw the ball at players. Now, whether he wants to hit them on purpose, it's called the knockdown pitch. He's the only one that knows.
Bobby Valentine's response in hearing that Zimmer had said that to Esquire magazine. Zimmer's in Esquire magazine?
As a model.
Of what?
I'm not going to touch that.
I think Zim was wrong. I think his comment was inappropriate. I agree with you, Ralph. Piazza had the right to believe what he believed.
That's right.
And you could argue with him, but to say Piazza's less of a person, a ball player, a man, because he felt that way, I mean, that rings no bells.
Doesn't make much sense, does it?
No.
Not at all.
Well, the whole issue is that Roger Clemens doesn't hit. Ralph talked about it a number of times. Posada has struck out again. Ralph's brought this issue up again. And it is so simple. This DH, the pitcher does not go up there. And you can throw it, guys. I mean, that was part of the game when I played baseball.
It's always been part of the game.
It's always been part of the game. But you went up and you took your lumps as well. Roger Clemens has never had to do that. He doesn't have to go up there and at least face the possibility of getting drilled in the back.
That's right.
Of getting knocked on his back or his rear end. That is not a possibility. He doesn't have to worry about that. Well, that's in that game, that aspect of when they changed and put in this DH, changed the face of the game to a degree forever and in an important way, which is not for the best. He's got to go up there. He said, well, these aren't athletes. They don't hit. Listen, at least you play the game the way it's supposed to be played. That if you have an action on the field, then at least you have to stand up for it.
Sinjo coming on the Brocious drive, and he can't get it off the glove. Brocious, a big turn, will have to go back. 2-out single for Brocious. The only thing that bothers me about Roger Clemens, take a look at the hit here, and Sinjo almost got this. Just missed it. I believe Tony La Russa when he says, I have nothing against the inside pitch, brush back, call it what you want, but you must keep it below the head. And Roger Clemens, more than once, has brushed guys back with pitches that are thrown inadvertently or otherwise at their heads.
Or behind their heads.
Or behind them.
Even more dangerous.
And that I have trouble with.
Well, send them up to the plate.
Yep.
That's the other thing. Send them up to plate. You want to do it, fine, because both sides, both teams can play the same way. But you've got this rule that emasculates part of the game. It's gone. You don't have to worry about it. There have always been pitchers that have thrown hitters' heads.
Oh, yes.
I mean, they've always been around. And some guys have done it and walked right up to the plate and say, okay, here I am. Take your licks. I'm standing right here. There have been headhunters. Don Drysdale was a headhunter.
I got one better than Don, and Don was really a headhunter. Stan Williams was a guy. There was a time that Piazza got hit in the head by Clemens. And he's lucky he wasn't seriously hurt. Now that ball, as Clemens said, got away. And maybe it did get away. But Piazza has a right to think that he was throwing at him on purpose. I don't think he wanted to throw at him and hit him in the head. I don't know, but I certainly don't think it.
Yeah, I threw a pitch to Ron Hunt one day in San Francisco, and I had no balls and 2 strikes, and I was trying to throw it up and in.
Stolen base for Brocious.
I was not trying to hit Ron Hunt, and everybody hit Ron Hunt. I was trying to move him back off the plate. Not trying to. What am I going to hit him for? And just just making him. Not going to gain anything by that. I threw the ball up and in. I hit him right in the head. The ball went up in the air, and I caught it, and I thought he was out. I turned around and looked at home plate, and he was out. He was flat out at home plate. I thought it hit his bat, and I cracked his helmet.
Well,
but you can't, to say Ralph's point, said, yes, well, you're trying to throw at somebody, and if then the hitter has the right to think you are throwing, but I know it does happen. You can't hit somebody in the head.
Well, getting back to Stan Williams, he used to keep a knockdown book in his back pocket of his uniform.
Right field. McEwing, he's got it. We'll get back to the knockdown chart. When we come back, Leiter continues to pitch tough. No runs, a base hit, one left on. They jumped out early. Ralph Kiner.
Oh, getting back to Stan Williams, he kept that knockdown book in his back pocket of his uniform, and he would put a skull and crossbones against your name if you hit a home run. He would put 2 if you hit a home run and showboated going around the bases. And when he got to 5, you knew he was going to knock you down. It was just, and he'd tell you where you stood in the book. He'd say, you got 3, 2 more, and you're down. I mean, that's baseball.
Yeah.
One time he hit Hank Aaron on the helmet, hit him in the head, although he had the helmet on. He apologized to Aaron, and Aaron said, well, don't worry about it. That happens. He says, no, I don't mean it that way. I wasn't trying to hit you in the helmet. I was trying to hit you in the neck. So it's been going on, and it's part of the game.
Todd Zeal. Well, I'll conclude by noting that the Elias Sports Bureau has told us that Tom Seaver was hit by a pitch 4 times in his career.
A little retaliation, huh?
One of them was by a knuckleballer. I couldn't get out of the way.
That doesn't count.
So you were hit 3 times.
That doesn't count. But to end the story is this. There's no doubt that Clemens wants Piazza to think that he threw at him and hit him in the head on purpose. It would be to his advantage, and there's no question about that.
To short, Jeter on Zeal. Good pick at first base. Soho getting a start at first. Wow, they get another. Chicago won today at home against Minnesota. Philadelphia now has come up big time. They were behind in that game. Florida, their lead over Tampa Bay. Rain delay in Montreal. What?
What?
A rain delay in Montreal?
The roof leaks.
The roof must be leaking. Here's Robin Ventura. First ball hitting, popped it up outside of first again. Louis Soho near the seats with room. Completing the rest of our Toyota out-of-town scoreboard. Boston in a big series against Atlanta for both of them. Houston, Texas, the intra-Texas, and a power delay outage in Milwaukee, where the Storms are going through. St. Louis against the White Sox with the lead. And there they be. 2 down, nobody on. Sinjo a base hit, 1 for 2 in the ball game. Yankees out hitting the Mets 6-4. Mendoza on in relief of Pettitte, who had to leave in the 4th inning with an injury. Now Leiter's gone the distance for the Mets. Turk Wendell is warming up. In case the Mets got an inning going here, Leiter would be hit for. But he's 3 back away. Tell how humid it is here at Shea Stadium tonight. 1 look there. 1-1. Sinjo inside out to right. Spencer. And a good inning for Mendoza. So he's retired the Mets in order now. 2 consecutive innings. And that's 8 in a row retired out of the bullpen. Will Leiter be back for the Mets? And Al Leiter's out of the ball game, and Turk Wendell out of the bullpen.
Well, Al Leiter with 111 pitches, and Bobby Valentine saying that's enough. And look at the scorecard. Al Leiter in his last 2 innings retired 6 in a row. Actually retired 9, 10, 11 in a row, didn't he? He's throwing the ball better the last 3 innings than he did early in the game. And that's got to be when he knew he was out of the ball game.
Yeah,
right there.
but he pitched a great game after the first inning. 2 hits.
Only 111 pitches, so being conservative. You look at the lineup for the Mets, and Leiter was scheduled to hit next inning. He's going to be the third hitter in that lineup. The next inning in the bottom of the 7th for New York. Well, he didn't want to come out. There's no question about that.
He wanted a chance to win. Derek Wendell against Soriano, who is 0 for 2. He is lined out and flying to left field, hitting .278. The slider misses.
One of the interesting things about a batter, he can ask for time, and that's what Soriano did, but the umpire doesn't have to give him timeout. And on that first pitch, Soriano asked for time and stepped back, and the umpire didn't give him time. It was a strike.
Dana DeMuth, the home plate umpire. 2-1 delivery, and that one drilled foul. And after having that happen, Will is really getting it up there in a hurry. He decided, hey, he's going to let me almost quick pitch here. I'll go ahead and do it. 2-2 count. Seventh inning of game 1 of the series, and he hit him in the back. Soriano will head down on a 2-2 count, hit by a pitch.
Well, you got to figure it was not done on purpose, because that's the last thing they want is a base runner here in the 7th inning.
I thought it was a slider. Take a look at the pitch again. Now the fastball.
It's
trying to throw inside, yeah. Maybe it was a slider that he tried to throw 100 miles an hour and got underneath the dip. You're right, Ralph. There's no way you want to put Soriano on at all.
18 stolen bases, and there he goes. Throw down by Piazza. Not in time. They're 3 for 3 tonight against the Mets in stealing bases. They lead the majors in stolen bases, the Yankees do.
That's a big stolen base. Now the pitcher can bunt him to third base. And a good jump, and Soriano has great speed. Throw too high to be in time.
74 stolen bases for the Yankees on the season, and Joe Torre has them running. The other thing to think about in this at bat, hitting Soriano, it keeps the Yankee pitcher in a ball game. You don't know if Torre would have pitched it for him.
Mendoza, bear in mind, hasn't had an at bat either this year. He gets a chance here, trying to lay it down. It's 1-1.
And one of the things about Turk Wendell, his #1 pitch is the slider. The most difficult pitch to hit, to bunt, is the slider. You set up for that fastball, and that slider moves, and all of a sudden hitters will move to try to get to that ball. And it is the most difficult pitch to bunt.
Turk Wendell has hit 3 batters. Soriano's been hit twice. He's on at second base. A lot of discussion in the infield now. 1-1 Mendoza. Here he goes, trying to steal, and it's bunted foul.
Boy, and that's a good thing that ball was bunted foul. They had third base stolen because Soriano went with the shortstop Ordonez right with him. It's almost like a tag team match.
Well, it's a guess on Soriano's part that Ventura is not going to come in and go back. Ventura can fake it and then go back to third. But he is absolutely following Ray Ordonez at third base. If an experienced pitcher in that situation, you're going to see that, and you're going to know that the runner's got third base made. You just pull up and take the strikeout. You get your runner to third base at the top of your order. Now watch this play. Now Bobby Valentine may put it on. He could run Ventura in, run the fake wheel, and go back.
That's what they do, and the bunt is popped back for a strikeout. So Mendoza unable to get it down, and worse yet, did not let that runner move up when he had the base stolen. Say, have you heard the news? The WB11 Morning News has a new member on its team, the Emmy, for the best morning news show in New York. Join Lynn White, John Muller, Linda Church, and Linda Loper. Obviously, every run important now. 1-run ball game. Yankees lead at 4-3. Knobloch up, 1 down. Soriano with outstanding speed, the base runner at second base. And Knobloch takes the inside strike and looks back at Dana DeMuth to question it. Turk Wendell trying to keep the score right where it is. Soriano with Ordonez right behind him. The 0-1. Breaking ball slider. Did he go? Check it first. No again. Full house on hand here tonight to watch this one and revving it up. Knobloch's been a .300 hitter with runners in scoring position this year. Puts that one to center field. Sinjo on his horse. He'll make the catch. Soriano tags up and will head to third base. Makes the turn and will stop there with 2 down. Knobloch hit the ball hard.
Hit the ball hard, but tracked very well by Sinjo in center field. So much so that he had jumped right at the aim before he got it.
Good jump.
Sinjo with a good defensive play. Now, with 2 down, Jeter's coming up. Soriano talking to Willie Randolph, third base coach here. And Jeter's going to be at the plate.
You've heard me talk so many times, Gary, the last couple of years about the 5 outs in the ball game that you got to have. This is one of them right here. If you're going to win the ball game, this is a big out. Runner at third base. Top-notch player, top-notch hitter at the plate. Big out. Save that run right here. No guarantee that you do win. But in the full course of them, this is an important one right here.
Jeter takes a strike.
Right there, Wendell with a perfect pitch.
Jeter 1 for 3 in the ball game. As a run scored, he picked up a single. Wendell just missed the inside corner. Pretty tough against the Mets.
Pretty tough against everybody, but he has been an outstanding hitter against the Met pitching staff.
What a
the
World Series.
Yeah, World Series. Look at that number jump off the page at you.
1-1. Again, the slider. Missed again inside and low. 2-ball, 1-strike count on Jeter. Jeter, one of those, singled out this past week, of course, by owner George Steinbrenner as not being productive enough. Bernie Williams, another in the middle of that order. Jeter's got 30 RBIs. Williams, coming into the game with 31, has added 1 to it. 2-1 to Jeter. Struck called. Caught the inside corner.
You know, you were talking earlier about RBIs, Ralph, and I think in this at-bat, and Jeter is a great situational hitter. I think he's thinking based on balls of Bernie Williams in the on-deck circle. Williams against, I don't think he's going to swing until he got to 2 strikes here.
It's good thought because
he's a hot bat in the on-deck circle.
2-2 to third base hit. On a 2-2 pitch, Soriano scores. Jeter delivers. The boss will be happier. It's his 31st run batted in. And a 5-3 Yankee lead. The out Turk Wendell didn't get that Tom was talking about.
Well, they made 2 perfect pitches against him, and then with the count at 2-2, he hangs his slider, and Jeter hits it for a base hit. The ball didn't break much.
He had a couple of pitches to hit earlier in that count that he did not swing at. And you're talking about the hottest bat in the lineup is Bernie Williams. And all things you hear about Jeter, how smart he is and a selfish player.
Runner goes, no throw.
A very unselfish player. And thinking, yeah, let's get that hot bat up. He sees there's nobody in the Met bullpen. Bernie Williams, of course, a switch hitter. But you get to first base, you got the runner on third. Take a look at the jump again. Jeter with his 12th stolen base of the year.
They're running wild on the Mets now. That's 4 for 4 in this ball game. Williams with an RBI chance with 2 down and a 1-0 count. Right around that 300 mark where he usually is, Bernie Williams.
Well, if that were the case, that's really a case of a team ball player. Try and get on base for the hot hitter.
That's what I sensed that right there. Bobby Valentine out of the Met dugout. I sensed that. Just reading what's going on with the hitter at the plate, it looked like he was trying to get a base on balls if he could. You don't see Bobby Valentine come out.
Right here, there's what are they thinking of? Are they going to pitch to Williams with first base open and a young rookie type ball player on deck?
Cook just got up in the bullpen to warm up, by the way. Williams has a 1-0 count. And Bobby Valentine obviously thinking about that. Williams on the right, Spencer the on-deck batter with him.
And Williams, of course, has raised his average 95 points in the last 28 games coming into this game. You sure don't want to have a guy up there that's that hot. And he's been a great player, so you're not dealing with somebody that might have had a unusual 95-point range.
Count. Pitch around him here.
That's what they have to do here.
I know how much Tom loves pitching around the hitters.
That's another one of the misnomers in the game of baseball.
They're going to walk him right here.
You can't let this guy increase the lead.
Can't take a chance on making a bad pitch on an intentional pass either. So he'll go. Bernie Williams will get the walk. It'll be his third intentional pass of the year, bringing up Spencer. So Shane Spencer inserted into the cleanup spot against the left-hander Leiter, putting that right-handed lineup out. Now we'll face a right-hander in this key spot with 2 down. Yankees up 5-3, a run in here in the inning. The leadoff bat of Soriano, who was hit by a pitch, is the one who has scored. Spencer with a home run in the 3rd inning, and he steps out on Wendell. Three RBIs on the season now for him, with a couple in this game. Spencer takes the slider for a strike. Only his 2nd game with the Yankees. Already a couple of home runs and 3 RBIs. Soriano, Williams, Jeter, rather, and Williams off their bases, and that one misses inside, 1-1.
You can play manager here if you want. For Joe Torre, the infield playing way back. Great speed on the bases. Jeter and Bernie Williams. Double steal 2nd and 3rd. Walk Spencer. Posada in the on-deck circle. I mean, it's knowing Joe Torre, it's not out of the realm of possibility.
Very true.
I mean, Valentine is way back at 3rd base. And you got 2 great base runners. I mean, Ventura at 3rd base, excuse me.
2-1 count. Spencer takes a strike inside corner. 2-2.
That look and that reaction right there by Spencer is a hitter that wants to be 3-1, not 2-2.
Certainly can't blame him for that.
That doesn't make him a bad person.
No matter where the pitch was, you can't blame him for that. Yankees up by 2. 2 down. 2-2, runners not going, and Spencer's gone on the strikeout. So Wendell gets the out, but not before a run is pushed across. 7th inning stretch time with the Yankees leading the Mets. To get out to Shea, stop by your favorite grocery store, buy 2 packages of any Conn's Hot Dogs products, pick up an official ticket voucher near the Conn's display. Then bring the voucher along, and with 2 Conn's proofs of purchase, bring it to the advanced ticket window at Shea, and you've got 2 free Mets tickets. These are good for games July 5, July 27, August 23. Conn's, the official hot dog of the Mets. Gary Thorne, Ralph Kiner, Tom Seaver, thanks for joining us, everybody. Desi Relaford up, bottom of the 7th inning. Mendoza came on for the starter Andy Pettitte in the 4th. He's retired the last 8 Mets that he's faced. First 2 got hits off him, nothing since. So he right now is the pitcher of record for the Yankees in the relief role. Pettitte going out with the injury after 3 1/3. Relaford takes it inside, 1-1. Good job by Mendoza so far. Strikeout, no walks.
That's right where Joe Torre wants him, right in that bullpen.
1-1, jammed him. Soriano. 1 down.
Again, if you're watching in that bullpen, you see the RBI that Relaford had in the 4th inning. Fastball out over the plate. That was against Mendoza. And what did he do here? Late on the first pitch was a fastball, and then pounded him inside, broke his bat with that fastball on the inside corner.
Ray Ordonez hitting .221. As has happened all season long, the early innings. Mets gave up 3 in the first, 1 in the third. On the year now, the Mets have been outscored in the first 3 innings of the ball game, 126 to 86. They have obviously been a great comeback team, but early on has not been good. That's when the Mets have given up the runs. 0-2 count on Ordonez.
They were a great comeback team last year. They got the hit anytime they needed it. It's funny, you look at their record last year, Gary, they were 37-29 at this time of year. 8 games over 500 coming in tonight, 8 games under. 16-game swing.
That's a big turnaround. Umpire Dana DeMuth's going to have to regroup after that one.
Well, the fastball fouled right on the mask of DeMuth.
How many fingers? Breaking ball, 2-ball, 2-strike count at Ordonez. Mets have only 4 hits in the game, 2 of them home runs by McEwing and Agbayani. The Mets have always struggled in interleague play against Yankee pitching, and understandably so. Yankees lead 11-7 in interleague play. Spencer. Is he having a night or what? 2 down. Playing a solid right field with a couple of good plays, a couple of RBIs, including a home run.
And a real tough break for Ordonez. Hits that ball very hard, and it's a out.
Hit it too hard, Ralph.
Pitch inning for the New York Mets. Number 20,
Mark Johnson is coming on as the pinch hitter for Turk Wendell. With 2 down and nobody on. Johnson up 5-3. Yankees on top. Rick White is in the bullpen getting ready. Johnson on a check swing, ball 1. Johnson just called back again. He's now appeared in 14 games, including this one, a couple of home runs, 7 RBIs, up and down with the AAA ball club in Norfolk. He's got power. Saw a story today where the Seattle Mariners may be interested in Robin Ventura, maybe talking to the Mets about a deal. They just want another classy veteran on a team that's it already.
Well, they've got so many losses. They've got 14 losses already over there.
Yeah, how can you lose another game?
It's the middle of June already. The trade line July 31st. I don't think Robin Ventura's going anyplace for a while.
No. Not while the Mets have a chance to climb back.
Absolutely.
2-ball, 1-strike count on Johnson. Hard hit ground ball. Soho knocked it down and made the play. His first time at first base this year. Luis Soho knocked her down. Mendoza got over to cover. As they say on that side of the infield, you get a second chance. He took advantage of it.
Well, the guy that's that good a hitter, throw the ball in the middle of the plate, you're going to give up a line drive somewhere. Let's look at the location of this pitch. Sinker did not quite get down and away. Not that bad a pitch. Looked like it was on the outside half. No, pretty much right down the middle, and a line drive to right field. Leadoff single for the Yankees here in the 8th.
Third time they've had the leadoff man on base in the game. Scott Brocious closing in on the 300 batting average mark. Single tonight. Now they'll keep an eye on Jorge Posada, where the Yankees have been running wild here. Posada's got a stolen base, 1 for 2 on the season. They have 4 stolen bases as a team tonight. The Bronx Bombers are the running Yankees this year. Posada not going, and the slider misses outside. 1-0 to Scott Brocious, and Tino Martinez did not start against the left-handers. Come out on deck. With Soho, the man due up. Charlie Huff on the bullpen phone for the Mets. Brocious waiting on the 1-0, and that's going to be trouble down the line. Base hit. McEwing chasing into the corner. Posada's on his way to third, and there he will be held. A double for Scott Brocious. 2 for 3 for Brocious in the game.
I think Bobby Valentine, maybe White, were thinking hit and run in this situation. It's certainly a possibility with a guy that handles the bat as well as Brocious, and you can see clearly going to the right side, trying to get that runner to third base. Good situational hitting right there by Scott Brocious. Little bits of execution. One of the things that Joe Torre's teams have done. With great asset and speed, he has used that up and down the lineup. And you've got those left-handers coming off the bench. Pretty good experience coming off that pine over there for him tonight.
Man. Tino Martinez, second and third, and nobody out. Martinez against White. The Yankees now with 9 hits in the game. Infield charges in, and Martinez takes a strike. Tino Martinez this season, 224. That's all off the left-handers, but 278 off the right-handers. That's why he did not start the game, with Al Leiter making the start for the Mets. Rick White's got his work cut out for him here. Throw to third. He actually threw it. That may have been the biggest surprise of all for Jorge Posada. Nobody throws to third. Posada was waiting for him to do that wheel and look to first, but of course there's nobody there. 0-1 count. Martinez, 9 home runs on the year. The infield stays in now. Tino a chopper. Good play. Relaford holds the runner. 1 down.
If you're on the Yankee bench, you're saying, get up, get up, get up. If you're on the Met bench, you're saying, get up, and get up. Obviously, this bench is talking about 2 different aspects of that play. The Yankees talking about the ball, and the Mets talking about their second baseman.
Infield will stay drawn in with 1 down. Posada the lead runner. Relaford the good play to get the first out of the inning. Soriano hit by a pitch, scored in the 7th. He's 0 for 2 in the game. Soriano's had no luck in getting people home in these situations. On the year, 163 with runners in scoring position. He has the lowest batting average of all the regular players on the Yankees. With runners in scoring position, he's got 2 in Posada and Brocious. The 0-1 broken back ground ball. Runner's gonna stay. Ordonez 2 down.
That is a situation that every hitter dreams about. Runners at second and third, and the infield drawn in, almost giving you a run. Look at the infield and everybody in. Mets, Bobby Valentine can't afford to give up another run. They have to play it that way. And so far, White pitching his way out of trouble.
Now White will have to work against another left-hander, as Paul O'Neill has been announced as the pinch hitter for Mendoza. Joe Torre trying to generate a couple of runs right here. Another one of the left-handed bats off the bench because of the right-handed lineup that Torre started in tonight's game.
Well, we talked earlier in this ball game about a big at-bat and a big out. And it came in the first inning, but for Al Leiter trying to get out Luis Sojo. Al Leiter giving up 2 runs at the point. And it was time. There were 2 men out, runner on third base. Second and third, and a big, big out. He couldn't get it. The little single up the middle was like the single in the World Series last year. Another big at-bat right here.
It'll be John Franco to take on Paul O'Neill, who's hitting 265 off right-handers, 265 off left-handers, and 265 in the month of June. pretty consistent stuff right there. O'Neill with 2 on and 2 down. White out, and Franco out of the bullpen. Faces Paul O'Neill with 2 down and 2 in scoring position. Strike 1.
You know, you got to think, Gary, realistically, you got second, third, nobody out. And you get a big out for the first out with the infield drawn in. You get another out. You got a chance to get out of this. This becomes what you just said, big out of the ball game. You got to think you can get up one run if you got second, third, nobody out, infield in. You almost concede a run. But now you've gotten to the point it becomes a huge out because you can get out of this inning without giving up any blood.
That would be a minor miracle. And Rick White got 2 of those outs. Franco's now looking for the third. It's only the second time, or O'Neill has had only 1 at bat as a pinch hitter. He's 0 for 1, 1 for 6 off Franco in his career. Outfield plays him a little around towards left field to go the other way. 0-1 delivery. He fouls it off that way, and Franco's got a 2-strike count. Now the Met fans begin making noise for John Franco. To deliver. That's the one Franco uses on the younger players. More prone to chase. Paul O'Neill, the veteran, not biting on it, and a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Posada off third, Brocious off second. Franco will step off. I've always felt O'Neill is one of the underrated hitters of the game. He's a .289 career hitter, 16 major league seasons. A tough out. Down to first. Short hop played by Zeal, and Franco and White combine to get out of the inning after the Yankees got their first 2 on. So the Mets remain just 1 on and 1 up away from a tie. Spencer had an RBI. So did Luis Sojo, getting the start at first base. Mets would respond. Ventura scoring in the 4th inning. But Spencer, a home run that came in the 3rd. Then Andy Pettitte out. He aggravated the groin injury. The Mets would get back to within 1. Relaford with an important RBI. Derek Jeter won himself in the 7th inning. And the Yankees have a 2-run lead.
And a look at our Jeep game summary. Spencer, the solo home run. Couple of RBIs. The Mets get home runs from McEwen and Agbayani. Derek Jeter, the Yankee shortstop, 2 for 4 with an RBI, and runners in scoring position. New York 3 for 13, and that's the Yankees 3 for 13. The Mets 1 for 3. We just saw that situation. 2nd, 3rd for the Yankees, and nobody out, and they went 0 for 3. And that line right there. You know, Martinez stays in at first, and Mike Stanton comes out of the bullpen. 33rd appearance, 5-1, 1.4 run average.
Number 50, Benny.
And then they got another guy down there that they use as their closer. This is a pretty good setup man right here and a pretty good closer they got.
Stanton has allowed only 3 runs in a team-leading 33 appearances. That's getting it done. He comes on here with Mendoza, the pitcher of record. He did a great job coming on for Andy Pettitte. And now Mike Stanton with a 5-3 Yankee lead in the bottom of the 8th inning. The top of the order, Benny Agbayani, McEwen, and Mike Piazza due up. Agbayani's 3rd home run came in the 3rd inning off Andy Pettitte, who gave up 2. McEwen had the other one. One strike count on Benny Agbayani. Stanton, good curveball. Slider changeup pitcher, not overpowering, but moves it around, keeps hitters off balance. Agbayani after that high strike, 0-2.
Looked like he got away with a high breaking ball there, up and out over the plate. Remember the home run that Agbayani hit was a fastball up and out over the plate. That's a hanging slider right there. You'd like to have that one back. Wow, how did I miss that one?
2-strike count, Mike Stanton. Just one to let you know. 1 ball, 2-strike count.
Just let you know I will pitch inside. You got to protect inside. You don't have to throw hard. You just look at Rick Reed. Let's say overpoweringly hard. Rick Reed or a Greg Maddux, they don't overpower you, but they make you aware that they will pitch inside and you have to protect it.
Check it first, he didn't go. How about that shot of the bullpen when you saw the closer getting up out there and getting ready? Don't you think you ought to have that sound from Jaws? That just fits in perfectly, doesn't it? Rivera. 2-2 delivery. Broken bat. Shortstop out of the reach of Jeter. And Benny Agbayani is on with a base hit. Leadoff man on. Say, if you have not been watching the WB11 News at 10, you're missing the team awarded the Edward R. Murrow Award for the best newscast in New York. Full house at Shea Stadium. This has been a good one. And far from being over. Mets with their 5th hit, a leadoff single here in the 8th inning by Benny Agbayani. Bobby Valentine's cardiac kids at it again. Mendoza, 3 2/3 innings, no runs, 2 hits, a walk, no walks, and 1 strikeout. Great relief performance. Stanton on for him. McEwing a home run, 1 for 3. Off-speed breaking ball is in there. Strike 1. McEwing with no numbers against Mike Stanton. No at-bats recorded against him. The 0-1 to him, and a 2-strike count. He wanted to tear the hide off that one.
There's a situation where McEwing has got to be thinking base hit here. He's got Mike Piazza hitting behind him. You're down by 2 runs and a big swing. Almost the same kind of pitch that McEwing hit out earlier in the ballgame. Fastball right down the middle. McEwing is one of those aberrations where his numbers, at least for this season, much less against left-handers. That's twice that Benny's almost been picked off. You're down by 2 runs. Yeah, you don't want to be the first out of a double play. You want to get there to be able to take the infielder out if there is a play at second base. But, oh, you can't get picked off, especially with Piazza in the on-deck circle.
0-2 the count. And he reached. Did he go? No. Mark Wagner. And McEwing may have gotten a break because these don't have to be very hard.
Yeah, they have been called often and plenty this year. There are some umpires that's an automatic strike right there. We've seen that be a strike numerous times, more often than not.
97%.
Oh, yeah.
So Stanton doesn't get it. Let's see if McEwing can take advantage of it. 1 ball, 2-strike count on McEwing. That one to right field. Spencer back, warning track, reaches up, and another fine play. He'll throw back to first, but not in time. Benny Agbayani back. I think he wants to be a Yankee regular.
You can put another star by that one. Shane Spencer in right field, the second outstanding, spectacular catch that he has made. The guy just getting back into the game of baseball after the injury, getting back to the big league level. A great play in the first inning off the drive by Mike Piazza. Almost the same after the right-handed bat of McEwen this time, slicing back over his body, catches it over his right shoulder. That is a superb play.
Shane Spencer, and McEwen's retired. Well, here's another big moment. The left-hander against Mike Piazza with a runner at first and the Mets down by 2. And he goes after the first pitch. For Piazza this year, 314 off left-handers and 3 of his 18 home runs. Agbayani at first base. Piazza again right at Spencer. Late jump. He didn't play that well. Agbayani gets in at second base. He had to wait to see if the ball was going to be caught. Well, no sooner do we get done talking about Spencer and Wright, and that one off the bat fooled him a bit.
With a guy like Mike Piazza is so strong, and Piazza has hit the ball almost over his head already, and playing deep to begin with to prevent against the double. Phenia Agbayani, uncertain, has got to make sure that that ball falls in. That's pretty good base running right there. But the outfield in that situation is protecting against double. They don't want Mike Piazza to get to second base. Just ahead by 2 runs, the Yankees are. And that's why Spencer playing way back. Got a late break on that ball. The ball fell in front of him.
Todd Zeile down the right field line again. Spencer in the corner, way back, can't get it. Bounces off the base of the wall. Agbayani will score. Piazza being waved as the ball gets away. Picked up by Brocious. It's in time. Piazza's out at the plate. Piazza had been held up until the ball came loose in the infield. Brocious, the only man left on the left side, picked it up and made the play to the plate in plenty of time.
Hit hard down that right field line back in that corner, and Shane Spencer came up and threw to second base, trying to keep the runner from getting to second. There was nobody at second base. Nobody. Not a soul at second base. Piazza heading for third, and I don't think John Stern saw it either. And he's out by about 10 feet at home. Everybody confused. Zeile saw that there was nobody at second base. Spencer came up and fired to second. The whole infield was gone. And Mike Piazza, dead duck at home plate.
Well, the Yankees draw a break on how that all happened because it was all a mistake that ended up a bed of roses for New York, for the Yankees. An RBI for Zeile on a double. It's now a 5-4 Yankee lead. Zeile moves over to third on the throw to the plate.
Have you ever seen a play like this?
No.
Huh? No way. Spencer comes up and throws to second. There's nobody there. The only person there is Todd Zeile, the umpire.
Credit Brocious with at least going over there and doing what he was supposed to do, backing up throws. He's the only one there to get it.
At least he saw it. The play was in front of him. At least he saw it. Another issue of no speed in the middle of that lineup or in that order for the New York Mets. They're playing station to station. Piazza got to third base, and he was on third base. Did not come around third.
Now Zeile is there, but there are 2 down, and Robin Ventura with a chance to tie the game. 2 down, 1-0 count. Stanton. Ventura takes the pitch outside, 2-0. Classic matchup. Great battle going on. Rivera's ready if needed. Obviously, Torrey wants See if Stanton can get through this inning, especially here, left-hander against left-hander. They get the final out on Ventura. And a towering pop-up, right field. Spencer's got to be wondering, have I got a magnet out here? This one he will put away. The Mets get a run, but they had 3 hits. A play at the plate. Remind you of any World Series played recently? And the Yankees have a 1-run lead after Piazza. Potential tying run thrown out. Brocious to Hort. 84,110. The announced attendance here at Shea tonight. Did they just see an inning and a most unusual play? We've now got a 1-run ball game as we go to the 9th inning. John Franco will remain on. He got the final out in the 8th. And the leadoff batter Chuck Knobloch, 1 for 4, stands in. Single in the 1st inning. He, Jeter, and Williams, the first 3 hitters up for the Yankees in this game, all scored. As Williams, Spencer, and Luis Sojo had RBIs in the 1st, Spencer the other, and a home run in the 3rd. They added to that on a Jeter RBI single in the 7th inning. Knobloch takes Franco's pitch away, 3-0 to the league's leading base stealer.
And you got a guy in the on-deck circle who is a great situational hitter. Can go to right field as well as anybody.
Tom and I were trying to figure out what happened in the Yankee defense on that play at the plate. Generally, with a ball hit like that to right field, the second baseman would go up and be the relay man, shortstop covers second, and the first baseman would be the cutoff man. However, Jeter ended up way over by first base on that play, which is why nobody was out there at second. Now, teams play it differently, but here's what happened here.
Well, the ball was way down in the corner, so you're going to actually, in a sense, you got 2 cutoff men, potential cutoff men. No, but neither one of those. I thought the first baseman went down the line. He wasn't down. Timo wasn't down. Tino wasn't down.
Oh,
Soriano was right behind him. They were both standing there.
They made a mistake.
They were as confused as we were on the ball.
Yeah.
And where was Jeter going?
Over with Soriano.
It looked like one of those broken 3rd down plays where, you know, make sure you cut over toward the water cooler and I'll throw you a pass on the outs, you know. And they cut the wrong way. There's nobody home.
Well, that's what happened. If you watch the right side of the infield here, see where they are? There's Jeter on the right, Timo on the right, rather. And there's Jeter by the mound acting like he's lining up a throw to the plate. But I don't think that's his play to line up. That's Tino Martinez's.
It would be the second man. It'd be the second one maybe to line up. I think the second baseman goes to second base there. Tino goes out the line because the ball is down in that right field corner. And then what Jeter is doing, coming over to be the cutoff man in case they have a play going to second base.
Well, Joe Torre will have a discussion about that tomorrow.
Who was the great football coach? He had X's and O's going everywhere. You run over here and you run over there. And
Knobloch obviously a threat to steal here, and Torre's been wild, 4 for 4 on the base pass tonight. Franco's trying to hold him close. He's got a good lead. Not going. And ball 1 to Jeter.
One of the things about that play by Spencer, you cannot criticize him for indecision. He got up and fired the second base, didn't he?
Right. He knew where he was going with it.
He says, I'm cutting Todd Zeal down.
You guys don't want to handle it? Your problem.
Right.
I'm throwing it to the bag.
I'm throwing to keep that go-ahead runner off second base. It's your job to get there.
And actually, he threw to the wrong bag. Because if someone had been hollering to him, the throw would have come to the cutoff man to prevent a run at the plate, because the double was already had. He didn't have any play at second base. But the other guys were so confused, nobody was talking to him, and he had his back to the play. And a hard shot, Ordonez. 1. Relaford. 2. Derek Jeter hits into the double play. That is just the second time he's done that this year. Hit into a ground ball double play.
Well, there are times in the game of baseball you'd rather be lucky than good. And this ball, a perfect double play ball for Relaford and Ray Ordonez. Hit right on the button by Derek Jeter. Unfortunately, right at the shortstop. He's saying, I wonder if he's thinking about where everybody was in the last defensive play. He said, why don't they get out of position?
Tough to be out of position on that one, isn't it?
No place to hide.
That's right. Bernie Williams up, 2 down. We're in the 9th inning of this first game between the Yankees and the Mets. A 1-run ball game. And John Franco trying to give the Mets a chance in the bottom half. Sinjo, Relaford, and Ray Ordonez will be the hitters due up for the Mets. Williams, an RBI single in the first inning. 1 for 3, intentionally walked, pops it up. Piazza back. Zone dugout will help, won't matter. It's behind it. John Franco looking for the final out here in the top of the 9th. And we will be seeing one of the game's, maybe the game's best closer, Mariano Rivera. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Chopper, foul. Good article in Sports Illustrated this week on closers in Major League Baseball and the frame of mind one must be in order to pitch in that position. He, of course, is one of the best. It's interesting to hear them talk about what they do and how they do it, and how they, Benitez is also in it, how they react differently and prepare themselves for that role.
Ice water.
Yeah, ice water.
You just got to be cool as a cucumber.
Under the arms, 2 ball, 2 strike count on Bernie Williams.
I think the best baby I ever saw was Raleigh Fingers coming out of that bullpen. I mean, it was as if, well, not only are you not going to score, you're not even going to get a base hit.
Just kind of like Rivera.
Yeah. I mean, you have to have that kind of mentality. A killer instinct, if you will.
2 ball, 2 strike count. We'll get to see the killer instinct of that man in the bottom half.
You think people enjoyed going up and hitting against Goose Gossett when he was
Dick Raditz?
Who?
Ryan Duran when he used to throw a little and late in his career and whipped it to the backstop. 2-2 delivery. Swung on and missed. Piazza will tag him. And good job by Franco after the leadoff to our ball game. There he is, 31 years old, Mariano Rivera, second in saves in the American League with 19. And over the past 5 years, there have been none better at getting the job done.
35 innings pitched, just 24 hits and 6 walks. 38 punch-outs in that 35 innings. Got that mentality of a closer saying, here it is, hit it if you can. Got a good cutter, good fast, straight fastball, or a four-seam fastball, not very straight. Torrey out to talk to Dana DeMuth behind the plate. Did he make another change? Is it a double switch or no? Doesn't look like it, does it?
Don't think so. Bobby Valentine's club trying to do it again. Rivera's blown 3 saves, has the 19. Lusaki of Seattle with 25 leads the American League. So Yossi Sinjo will lead it off for the Mets. He has singled 1 for 3. Relaford and then Ordonez due up here in the bottom half of the 9th inning. And Rivera out of the stretch with heat.
And you wonder why you didn't see Rivera last inning when you had Piazza coming up the middle of the lineup and he stayed with Stanton. As Joe Torre managing this as a 3-game series, not a 1-game series. This is his closer for 1 inning.
And he wants him available for all 3 games if need be. Another heater. Sinjo backed away, but it's a strike.
My question is, and we've talked about this before, your closer is your best pitcher out of that bullpen. Why didn't he pitch against Piazza and Zeal? It was right hand, but it just isn't done that way.
0-2 count. Took care of that one in a hurry. Sinjo chasing a high fastball, and Rivera's got 1 down in the 9th.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Got to hit him with a fastball. Went up above the top of the strike zone with 2 strikes. Can't get there with that. That's good pitching right there, getting ahead of the hitters with good hard stuff, and then going up above the top of the strike zone. The best a hitter's going to do in that situation, pop it up. The only one of the few hitters could ever touch that kind of ball is Mike Piazza when he's swinging a hot bat.
Emo Perez pinch hitting for Desi Relaford. Brocious is way in at third. 1 strike count, 1 down, bottom of the 9th inning. Rivera looking for his 20th save. Infield back, accepted third. And he does, but he drags it, and a beauty. Getting over Rivera, and he gets there in time. Tino Martinez picked it up, made the play to Rivera.
As these teams got closer to playing, you saw Gene the Stick Michael around this ballpark a lot following the Mets. And he knows this club, the Met Club, 7 ways to Sunday. Good athleticism by Rivera. Good coordination between Martinez and the pitcher. Good hustle over there. That is outstanding coordination play right there.
Lenny Harris will pinch hit for Ray Ordonez with 2 down in the bottom of the 9th inning. Rivera. Fastball in there for a strike. 6 pitches, 6 strikes, 2 outs. Mets are 10-6 in 1-run games. The Yankees have won 12 one-run ball games and lost 10. Harris broken bat. Rivera knocks it down. Game 1 to the Yankees. 5-4. Joe Torre's club has won it the 12th time they have beaten the Mets in the regular season. The record interleague play 12-7 in favor of the Yankees. 20th save for Rivera. Mendoza will get the win, and Leiter will take the loss.
The game really decided in the very first inning. Al Leiter just could not get on track. Knobloch with a base hit, Jeter with another single, and Bernie Williams another RBI single. And then the base hit by Soho later drove in the 4th run and 3rd run of that inning. Our GM turning point of this ball game, down the right field line. Todd Zeile a 2-base hit, and Shane Spencer running it down. The tying run, and Mike Piazza standing on 3rd base, the ball thrown away, and Scott Brocious playing heads up catches Piazza by about 10 feet at home. At the time, he represented the tying run.
So that's going to do it for game 1. 2 more to go in this series, of course, but the Yankees come away with a 5-4 win. Our next game on the WB11 will be the Atlanta Braves of the Mets, coming up next Friday at 7 o'clock. The WB11 News is coming up next. For Ralph Kiner, Tom Seaver, I'm Gary Thorne. Thanks.